Hello.
Hi everyone, welcome to another session here beneath the Dales. We find ourselves in the ruins of Tathok, the successor city-state to the dwarven realm of Tethiamar, itself a successor state to the ancient empire of Delzoon. Tathok fell several hundred years ago. It marked the ultimate decline of the Tethiamar dwarves and their eventual the loss of their realm and their extinction as a realm, as a culture. We've been scouring around through the ruins for a while now, and we've vanquished a fairly large warband of goblins calling themselves the Triumvirate. They are a group of goblins, hobgoblins, and bugbears that apparently live together in some kind of equal, egalitarian utopia, though their political affiliations mattered little when we exterminated them. We've also come across some more horrendous things, namely um, undead beholders and exploding zombies, ogre zombies, and it seems that there's more going on here than we might have first guessed. We've taken refuge in an area that was once a butcher. The bones of corpses centuries old adorn the floor, as does a large magical box that is like a refrigerator, a device for keeping things cool, that runs, of course, off magic rather than some more conventional energy source. So here we are. We've put ourselves in this small domain and blocked it off. And the time passes without us getting any further disturbed. But there's still things going on out there. The majority of the ruins sound quiet, though occasionally we do hear the crashing of rock or the blowing of wind, which is particularly bizarre given how deep underneath the ground we are, how far away we are from clouds and other factors that provide wind. Um, so there's some mysteries yet to uncover, to understand. But here we are. Were we taking a long rest or a short rest or something? Is that what we're doing here?
I think we've
Yeah, it was a
finished
short rest.
a short rest. I mean,
Excellent.
It was only a short one.
All right. So an hour has passed in our little refuge, and we haven't so much as seen a rat go past. Maybe some cockroaches and spiders and a few other invertebrates. Um, but we are deep, deep, deep within the ground, at least 7 miles beneath the surface and possibly more. So the prevalence of rats and mice is probably pretty low anyway. This is very much an underground, underdark environment. Okay, so here we are in the butcher. What are we going to do?
Well, we still have our task, which is to clear this place out for the sake of Tethiamar above.
Very good.
Meet the doctor.
Yes. This doctor character. I'll head out to the door and I'll force it open.
We haven't met the doctor, have we?
No, just heard reference to him.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. So yeah, you open the stone door, you slide it across. It's relatively noisy, since you're dragging 200 pounds of stone. Though you might do it a little more quietly, lift it up and place it down, but even then there's an audible thud as the stone is dropped back down onto the stone floor. It looks calm and clear and lifeless out there.
All right. Well then, let us proceed and finish clearing these passageways.
And I guess the alarm goes off when they pass over the line.
You can mark certain creatures as not being able to trigger it, though, can't you? So I'm sure you would have.
Yeah, I'm sure we set it up in the appropriate way.
All right.
Mother got like a Windows update and needs to restart.
Yeah. We'll leave them there to update. Although perhaps a more fitting reason is that since we're taking a short rest here, there's a possibility that the rooms and the rooms and hallways we've already cleared might have some enemies wandering around there again. So we could send Mother to just go check that out.
Sure.
That's what they're doing. Right.
The room that you're heading towards here has traces of blood, mainly black blood, but also some red blood that has dried but not disappeared completely, making it probably more than a day old, but probably less than a week. You will find a door to our north has been completely destroyed and reduced to nothing but rubble. Doors are, of course, made of stone.
Right, that's where the beholder came. Oh no, the thing that came before the beholder.
The
The
zombie
ogre
ogre
thing came from down
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Big
Who
boy.
would like to take the lead in this expedition?
I'll take the lead.
Guess Flightless will walk aside. He's got quite a good perception.
Right, I'll bring up the rear.
Heading north, or
Guess it's not often the wizard's like, I'm going first.
I think we are going north, or do you want to keep going to those weird-looking baby things over there?
These are statues. Yeah, they're statues in the preceding room and also in that room as well. Statues of dwarves.
Ah, so I was right. They are statues of babies.
Haha.
And I guess we'll slow down to, half speed so that I can get my advantage on perception.
Sure.
Does that mean move like one tile every 5 minutes?
Huh.
Everyone cool down now.
I'm gonna move
Wizard
slow in
for the
case I
rogue.
step onto a trap.
And I guess I should probably roll because they're just making sure tapping ahead with my weapon, make sure we're not looking for pressure plates and what's the other one.
And that investigation will last for one sector.
Each room, I guess.
Basically, each room. That's right, or sector of corridor that connects each room.
29, very nice.
29 is pretty outrageous. So you satisfy yourself that there is no pressure points or buttons or anything else, though you are constantly going past mosaics and bas reliefs that, while broken, 9/10 of them are destroyed, there's enough that remains to give a picture of what life might be like, or at least idealized life. Mining and traveling and fighting and more sedate, serene depictions of regular life,
And I suppose,
all with a religious bent.
And I suppose as someone who's very interested in history, Fly was also with his mind trying to keep track of this as well. Well, keep track, remember this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Check out the little cupboard. It's not a little cupboard, but you know what I mean.
Just a moment.
Is there a closed door there?
All right. All right. So the room that you're in here, has words all over the wall, words written in Dwarven. It is some certain stanzas of the Dirge of Delzoun, an ancient historical poem that talks about the rise and fall of the dwarves of the ancient kingdom of Delzoun. That's something we're familiar with, isn't it? We have.
Yeah, we've worked with the Dirge on several occasions.
thought so.
They helped
Yeah,
us breach into Tedima.
Of course, yeah, and they themselves name their warband after the poem, as opposed, of course, to the other way around. So on the walls here is poetry. With your incredible, astute senses, Flightless, you'll hear the sounds of perhaps, activity anyway, on the far side of this stone door. Not immediately on the other side of the door, but beyond it, there is chipping, like a carving of stone or something like that, scraping of stone on stone.
I guess in your mind, to the telepathic bonds, you'll hear just quiet yourselves. I hear things in the other room. And you'll point towards the door across the room.
All right.
So I guess, can I roll stealth to be quiet as I enter the room?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's something I'll need to import, so I'll do that, but it'll take me a moment.
At 17.
Sneaky.
Yeah, so you attempted to move across the room stealthily, and yeah, as I said, I'll do this import.
Meanwhile, the other members of the party are all wearing heavy armor.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all gonna do stealth, so might as well.
Clank, clank, clank.
Yeah. The stone doors are probably going to, help mitigate some of the sound in any case. So it's not an entirely lost cause.
We're going to get a third 12.
Yeah,
Right,
that's kind of what I expected from heavy armor.
It automatically adds. That's cool. I didn't know that it did that.
It's a pretty new feature.
So go with the 2. I didn't mean to roll it the second time. I thought I got to do it at disadvantage. I didn't realize it was auto.
And I suppose here's my investigation for the room as well.
Oh, right, the heavy armor's automatic now. Interesting. Yeah, that is a pretty good little feature.
Because I have played with enough people who just never get that they need to roll stealth at disadvantage because they have heavy armor. Now the system just does it for you.
Good.
It's like, I rolled 18. It's like, yeah, but you need to roll it again. It's like, oh, I don't understand. It's like, no.
It's also putting things that I import into alphabetical order, which is good as well. So they're doing incremental, minor improvements.
Just quality. I think one thing might have spurred it is like the other virtual tabletop, like the Foundry.
Yeah, exactly. Their competition is better than them.
Because the Foundry came out as like, hey, look, we're really good. And then Roleplaying's like, oh, we have to catch up.
Yeah, we're still the most popular, but we're not all of the best, if we ever were. Yeah. All right. So the room is apparently empty. There is there is evidence that this was once somebody's dwelling, somebody's domicile, but there's no longer any furniture or anything left to save for the poetry on the wall. Yeah. And a lingering smell of formaldehyde, corpse flesh, and explosives.
I guess investigating the door on the other side, is it like flush, or is there parts like can you see through a seam?
It's pretty flush. Yeah. But if you make a perception check, you might find a crack or even just hear something.
A perception check, you say?
Yeah, make one of those. Yeah.
Oof, not too great.
Not great, not terrible. Yeah, the smell that was previously described are stronger on the far side of the wall. They linger here, but yeah, are stronger on the other side.
So she went, the chemicals are on the other side, I believe.
You can smell
Or
chemicals.
exploding zombies.
The heel nod.
Quite possible.
So does he equip his shield and put out one of the like shurikens? Back off a little bit.
I've forgotten what was the result of our interaction with the Mind Flayer.
Mind Flayer.
Yeah.
He tried his best to appeal to us. And as I recall, every time he saw a new face, he tried to appeal to them individually.
That's,
But no one accepted his offer.
yeah, exactly what I thought. So that's good. Yeah.
Except for Mother. I think Mother didn't accept, but didn't say no. So that's the closest the Mind Flayer got
I
to a
think-
yes.
And Flytos was just like, oh, speak to Eleanor.
Yeah. We all know how that would have gone.
Ah, good point. All right, so we know that these doors don't open quietly. Potentially, you could lift a 100-pound stone door silently, but it'd be very, very hard. So by default, if you are going to open it, it will be noisy.
Right, I'll lay my halberd against the wall and like sort of jam my plated fingers into the crack between the doors and nod to Sildarin to take one half of the door so we can wrench it open as quickly as possible.
Take cover on the door. Prepare.
Let's do
I
it.
mean, on the wall, not door.
All right. So you're trying to basically get it open as quickly as possible. That's the tactic here, right?
Yeah, I feel like if you can't open it slowly, you might as well open it quickly.
Very good.
Can't open it silently, rather. You might as well open it quickly.
Yeah,
May
I
catch
understand.
whoever's on the other side off guard.
Exactly. And so that's what we'll do. We'll open the door. We'll roll for initiative immediately, and we'll call it a surprise round with theoretically everyone on the other side unaware of your activity. Oh, that's right. I'm going to have to import each of the tokens all over again.
That's pretty cool. There's a mind flayer in there. I've never fought one of those before.
Aha.
Yeah, so I keep forgetting you're a bloody Twilight Cleric and you can just see everything.
Forever.
Yeah, it's nuts, right? It's, yeah, really crazy.
Oh, I played it the first time and I can't believe they actually just brought it out. I played it when it was an Arthurcon. I thought it'd just be nerfed down to like 120 or something.
Surely, right? Well, I think it was unlimited in Arcana. Oh, we'll nerf it down to 300. Yeah, that helps. Great.
Oh, and you can also share it with the rest of the party.
Yeah.
I mainly play
let's
them.
just give them martial weapons and heavy armor as
Yeah.
well.
That's why
And
I play them
advantage
for
on
martial
initiative.
weapons. Definitely great.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of power creep.
Yeah, and you haven't even mentioned the temporary hit points yet. All right, so yeah, as I said, this is going to take just a moment. Oh yeah, so the floor here. Is this where we? No, it's not where we destroyed the alchemical zombies. No. That's a little bit to the south. Okay. So, Flightless. The door is pulled across, and you are quick off the mark.
I suppose he'll move into position to start throwing his darts. That's 30. Oh, there's a lot more enemies than I thought. Because I can't take cover where I thought I could.
Run
Mistakes
away.
made.
See Flightless run through the door, and
Bonus
a
action
second
dash.
later runs back through.
But he'll say beholders to the north as well.
My brow furrows in deep concern at the fact you said beholders. Beholders plural.
That's right.
And then he'll dodge and end his turn there.
Very cool.
Actually, no, he'll cast a Bless on himself, Sildarin, and Eleanor.
So you move in and come back.
Yes, he didn't like
Fuck
what he
it.
saw.
Fuck this.
That's one way to take advantage of a surprise round. All right, Leo.
Yes, I will move to here.
Cool.
Will hold my action for one of them when one of these two that I can see comes into firebolt. Firebolting thing to firebolt it.
Excellent. Lady Eleanor.
Right, well, let's see for myself just how bad it is. Move 15 feet the corridor. Yes. I see. I'll say something like, beholders to the north and to the east. I'll take the one to the north. I'll move 10 more feet this way, and 5 more, and that's my movement. Bonus action, Spirit Shroud for the extra damage. As my action, let's go for my... Yeah, I'll go for my transformation ability. Let my spectral wings appear and my weapon to glow with energy. And that'll be my turn.
You're looking into an ancient library. These stone ladders are there to get books on a higher shelf, though there's very little evidence of any books left. There are a handful of scraps of scrolls, but not much in the way of literature remains. Sildarin.
Uh, 5, 10. Guess I'm heading east. That's what you decided.
Yeah, I said I'd take the one to the north, but whether you go east or hold your position or whatever, it's up to you.
Oh, what to cast? Yeah, I guess I'll do Spirit Guardians as well.
Cool.
Classic.
Can you see everyone in the party? Because otherwise Spirit Guardians could be bad.
Can't see Flightless.
Alright. Will you still cast Spirit Guardians, knowing that Flightless will be harmed by it?
Is that what you just cast, Eleanor?
No. I cast Spirit Shroud.
Oh, that's the other one.
I'll ping it. It's basically an extra D8 damage. It also stops regeneration. Quite useful.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it. Maybe that's a better call. Yeah, let's do Spirit Shroud instead.
Oh,
Yep, that'll be it for me.
okay. All right. Back to Flightless.
I suppose I forgot a minute. Did I see any invisible creatures when I walked out that first time?
Yeah, good question. No. But thanks for reminding me. Probably forget.
Since there's a beholder and a troll that way, I'll go and help Eleanor with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit Shroud's good against trolls.
And then that's my movement. I will do a bonus action, perception, to see if there are any stealth. I get anyone hiding in the room ahead of us.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Oh, let's see. I don't think that you'd hear anything, no, and you certainly don't see anything. So that's not to say that there isn't anything there, but if there is, you don't detect it.
I suppose at that I'll dodge, because the troll is 10 feet out of my range.
Excellent. It stumbles into view, and it seems like it is going to come down towards us. But for reasons that are unclear, it shows it doesn't behave that way at all. It doesn't behave the predictable way, and instead does something a little more tactical, which is curious, given that it's probably a mindless automaton. It seems to be ready to attack if anything gets close enough for it to reach. Leo.
I guess I will follow the cleric this way.
All right. If you're going to split the party, going in 2 groups of 2 is not a bad way to do it.
Change the measuring.
I'm just concerned that if we all file into one corridor, they'll just file down the corridor and trap us between the two of them.
Yeah, or just spam fireballs.
Guess I'll hold my action to firebolt when one of them comes into. So I can see them, but I can't. No line of sight.
Cool. All right. Doing a little bit more importing, but while we're waiting for that to load, Eleanor, the tactics behind the undead ogre become a little more apparent as
Oh.
a mind flayer comes into view.
I see.
And it telepathically contacts each of you. We mean you no harm. We are here to undertake research. We are here to obtain samples for the Genesis Pit. We are here purely on academic research purposes. And it then goes on to somewhat contradict that that assertion by foolishly hitting the paladin with a wisdom saving throw.
I see. Wisdom save. 28.
Yeah, all right. Well, guess what? That passes. It then floats back out of view, somewhere behind the undead ogre.
The real attack was the gaslighting. It's like, I'm a friend, tries to one-shot you.
Yeah, I'm
Meanwhile,
about to open my mouth to refuse and just shoot down any kind of justification, and then I feel something like clutch at my mind, and like, well, that just seals it.
thanks for trying.
Can I firebolt him?
Yes, yeah, good call. Bam, and it's a great strike. And we come in peace. Boom! Fucking firebolt in the face. He tries to block it or to cancel it out, but the blast hits him all the same. And speaking of blasts, Leo and Sildarin are then hit by a blast of their own.
A mind blast, perhaps.
Precisely that.
Yeah.
Intelligence saving throws.
Yes, everybody's favorite.
Can you use my inspiration? So
Yeah.
lucky, plus 10.
The wizard
Almost
fails their
didn't pass.
save.
Which is
Doesn't bode well for the rest of us.
I'm going to say that this is actually bizarre because like intelligence saves are rare, but half the party have them.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is probably the worst among us, but it's still a +4 thanks to paladin goodness.
Yeah.
Mine's a solid +0, so it's not great.
Ah, well, never mind.
And
Got a respectable +7 here.
that's right. The very fact that you are able to resist my psychic impulses shows what prime specimens that you are and how effective you will be in contributing to the Genesis project. Please surrender.
Surrender your bodies to our scientific experiments.
Right.
You can roll persuasion if you.
He chooses not to spend an action doing so. Lady Eleanor,
He might crit.
he might crit.
Alright, move up a little bit. And move up a bit more into the zombie's range and takes a held action attack.
Indeed, it does, and it scratches out with its long arm and its claw, and it's a chilling touch. You feel the cold resonate through your armor, but protected as you are, you're not in any real danger.
Alright, I'll start trying to hack this thing to pieces so I can get at the real meat behind it. The bloody mind flayer.
Indeed.
Let's see, so starting with a 22 to hit.
It has no armor whatsoever.
For 28 damage.
Brutal, and its stitching comes undone, and it begins to disintegrate from the impact of your blow. But it's held together by its massive frame, and it seems like it can take a few more hits like that.
Attack again for 29.
And evidently, it's going to take a few more hits.
That is a very sad attack.
That wasn't
Yeah, very
great.
low rolls all around. Just 10 damage, I think, on that one.
Alright, and it endures that, and still got plenty left to dish out.
And then bonus action Pulse Strike with a first level Divine Smite behind it. For 27, I think. Although it's an undead, so it's an extra d8 on top of that.
It is, yep. And the flesh sloughs off, as does the skin. Several of the bones break and crack and disintegrate. And it's being held together by its frame, but little else. 34, an enormous strike. And the Mind Flayer's suspicions that you are fantastic specimens is confirmed.
Alright. That's my turn. I was hoping to be able to at least take that thing out, but sadly, I think I got just short.
didn't happen that way. In something of a pointless attack, the lumbering beholder zombie directs its eye rays towards Eleanor, and opens up with a ray of fear that she is likely to blatantly ignore.
Yeah, immunity to fear.
All right, but the zombie doesn't know that. Sildarin.
Yeah, the sickening ray just envelops me, but has no effect.
Oh wait, sorry. I forgot there's this other one, and it also pops out, and takes up the tunnel. And produces a similar ray against Leo. So Leo, you two are struck with a black ray that saps your will. Make a wisdom saving throw as it attempts to.
Failed.
Not great.
All right. So you are frightened. I think frightened means that you can't advance, and as long as you can see it, you're at disadvantage to attack rolls. I think that's what frightened does.
It's a good thing there's a corner right there.
The beholder zombie proceeds to block the path, though whether it's being directed to do so or just acting on instinct, we can only guess. Flightless.
You skip me.
Oh, did I? Sorry about that. I'll do that many, many times in the future.
I guess we'll go down here and try and unblock the path. I'll start with throwing a booming blade at it.
Bam, and it's got some strong, crusty outer shell to it, but no agility to speak of. And it's once you get past that shell, it's like a gooey center inside.
Like flipping a turtle over.
Yeah. I was thinking a Cadbury cream egg, but yeah, your analogy works well as well. All right, it's a great strike. 28 points of damage, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And you hack off half of its face, but it, aside from the obvious injury, it doesn't seem to affect the creature. Has no pain receptors, and you don't interrupt its integrity to flight.
And I guess I'll do a bonus action. I'll throw a spiritual weapon at it. Missing badly.
The sight of a beholder vomiting forth its undead innards is off-putting enough that you flinch and fumble.
That's all she wrote.
That is all she wrote. All right, flightless.
I suppose this is actually a good instance of insightful fighting, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to get my sneak attack against the beholder. I mean, against the troll here.
Oh yeah, sure.
He'll move up, and then he'll use his insightful fighting against the ogre.
Oh yeah, well you're automatically going to pass that.
I don't think the ogre can beat that one.
No, I don't think so. I don't know if there's a single monster in this campaign that has a plus 12 to insight. All right, and that will finish it off. You sever the spinal cord, and the great fleshy mass falls to the ground. Its alchemical components spilling onto the floor, but are apparently not flammable or otherwise explosive.
Then he'll take a step back out of Eleanor's way. Then
Sure.
finish his movement.
Leo.
Just in a not sort of quivering voice. You've got this one. And then firebolt the other one.
All right.
It fears you as well.
And if still rattled, your firebolt is accurate, hits it straight in the central eye, but the eye has a kind of calloused skin that protects it from the firebolt. All right, does that get rid of the target repeats the saving throw? Yeah, so you're no longer afraid. Okay. The Mind Flayer comes back around the corner, is somewhat relieved to see that Sildarin is by themselves, and promises you that...
Still looking over my shoulder, wondering what the hell happened to Leo.
Good call. And it's as you look back that the Mind Flayer, just as foolishly as targeting Eleanor, targets you with a Wisdom saving throw. We merely wish to undertake our research in peace, and you can be of tremendous use in our experiments. How's that? Yeah? Alright, yeah, I think that's going to do it.
Unconvinced.
You're convinced.
I think, like, if at this point you say, like, oh, you still fail, like, I don't think anyone has a chance.
Right.
Yeah. What wizard has a DC of what, 34?
Halasta's DC is 23, I think, so... And
I think maybe Asmodeus, maybe.
I don't think so, no. I really don't think so. Yeah, I'm highly confident that nothing in the game has a 33. Meanwhile, this Mind Flayer comes out, and I'm a student. I'm not a threat. I'm not here to harm you. Mind Blast.
Save your breath.
That'll target Eleanor, Flightless, and Leo.
My mind, it feels so blasted.
And an intelligence save, Leo.
Ah, sorry, I rolled just above your mind.
Oh,
blast
did
one.
you? I see.
You got a
Oh,
32.
I see. Right. Okay. All right. So what you're basically saying is that rolling is pointless. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
What's
You've
the
hurt my
DC?
feelings.
I rolled a double.
Not gonna lie. Kinda hurt. All right. Okay. So there's the Mind Flayer is just in awe of the power of your mind. Your intellectual capacity is representative of the apex of your species. Can't you see?
He says
Eleanor.
to a character that has 9 intelligence.
Right.
Alright.
Huh.
I'm a fan of it too.
Right.
Wobble up
Yeah,
so
right. I see myself as a Rick. I'm totally not a Jerry. The Mind Flayer assures you.
I'll move up 25 feet next to the beholder, but I'll focus my attacks on the Mind Flayer as I believe them to be the greater threat.
Mind Flayer regrets its positioning.
And let's see. So we'll start the first one with a 2nd level smite behind it. Assuming it hits. Oh, yes, I
that
think
did
that
hit.
might hit.
Like the
Yeah,
crits
so
are crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I toggled everything, so let's see what it goes. What happens?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, like
Gosh.
the dice were not kind to us last session. I guess they're paying us back.
Alright, let's start adding that up.
66 and 15. I think it's 81.
You might be right.
Oh,
Yes,
goodbye,
81.
Mind Flayer.
And you see, like, so how does this thing die in a single attack?
I guess I like charge towards it with my spear, like down like a lance almost.
Yeah.
As the Mind Flayer is desperately trying to make its case, I just thrust the entire halberd through their chest, axe blade and all, for an absolutely horrendously grievous wound. And then lift the Mind Flayer above my head, let them slide down a little bit,
Such
and then
genetic superiority, it thinks.
and throw them off of it.
Prime specimen.
And then turn my attention to the beholder.
Alright, and the beholder likewise turns its attention to you. Come on, beholder, you can roll better than a 3.
I got a
Alright.
couple of attacks that can.
Oh, you're still attacking, are you?
entertain
Yeah.
with.
You know, if that beholder wasn't
Yeah,
blind,
cool.
you would have thought that was cool.
Yeah.
These are likely to be a lot less impactful though. For a 23 on that one.
Alright.
And a 19.
So you hack off some of the extraneous eye stalks that fall to the ground limply, and you are then targeted by one of the few that remain, requiring a Constitution saving throw.
Con save. 30.
You pass and take half damage for a total of 18 necrotic damage, although that's halved again, isn't it?
Yeah, some resisted necrotic damage.
Right. And the Mind Flayer would just be flabbergasted if it wasn't already dead. Meanwhile, Sildarin faces a challenge of his own. This is what we've been waiting for.
Have we?
Dexterity
Oh no,
save.
the dreaded disintegration, right?
Oh, Dex, that's not good. We might use the old inspiration on that one.
Thought you might. Okay. So you feel your molecules are discombobulating, falling apart, having tiny little nuclear explosions within across your body. And your skin and your fingernails and your hair, and even parts of what you're carrying, all flake away. You take 55 points of damage as entire sectors of your body turn to ash.
Jesus.
That's the one that everyone's afraid of.
Yeah, it's the master stroke. All right.
Whimper a little bit like the man in black.
It's fair. Nobody's going to judge you for that. And it's your go, Sildar.
I guess we'll throw another booming blade at this beholder. For 30.
All right, that weakens it, but the mass of flesh stays afloat and shows no sign of letting you escape.
Spiritual weapon attack.
Another devastating strike.
For 18.
All right, and you weaken it further. It begins to deflate and leaks most of its vital fluid onto the floor, but it is not crashing to the ground.
That's all we got.
All right, flightless. Lady Eleanor has demonstrated her capabilities. What are you going to do?
Disappoint the party, obviously.
Huh.
He'll move up and attack the beholder, the undead beholder.
Hmm. Straight through the eye.
Ooh, spicy.
Not bad. And you pop the central eye, and grow a little concerned as the rest of the eyes bear down upon you.
Didn't mean to put an eye on the eye, but never mind.
Indeed.
And then he will bonus action perception again, because you might as well try to see something.
Sure.
Invisible second beholder in this corner of the room.
Indeed. What you do notice are fragments of old scrolls. Several of them are contain the script of the Dirge of Delzoon. It looks like the Mind Flayer was gathering said scripts when his research was interrupted.
I also like to think he's like desperately fighting beholders. Like, oh, that looks interesting.
Indeed. That's pretty much it. Leo, you feel a little bit silly for having had your blood chilled. After all, it's only an undead flying monstrosity that can disintegrate with a single look.
I've always been here. What are you talking about?
Right? I was tactically repositioning, fool.
Ah, nice. And I will cast a spell on the Mind Flayer.
Sure.
Cast. I couldn't remember what it was called. That's why I said a spell. Immunization. I can't even say the spell's name. That's embarrassing.
Huh.
Immolation.
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 All right.
For some reason, I was thinking immunization. But yeah, I like to immunization this thing.
Run over and vaccinated.
There we go. You might feel a little burn.
So that's 26 damage, and I think at the end of each of its turns, it's got to do another save or take another 4d6.
Very cool. It lets out a psychic scream, which is quite different to the psychic scream spell.
Oh yeah, this is a
So
brutal spell.
It
isn't
triggers us all in real life, though, anyway.
Yes.
If they can't save against it, they just keep taking damage round after round, don't they?
Very painful.
Nice.
All right. The Mind Flayer is terrorized by this, greatly distressed. Greatly distressed. Oh, it really doesn't want to die.
That would be inconvenient to the research.
Exactly right. You know, it's got a moral obligation to survive. And because of that, Mind Flayers are not necessarily cowardly. They kind of are cowardly, but they're certainly very interested in self-preservation. And thus, it chooses to evacuate.
Teleports away, but it doesn't have a distance on the spell. That just would it stay on it as long as I maintain
It will.
concentration?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It'll keep burning wherever it is that it happens to go. So does it get a saving throw at the end of its turn?
Yep.
If it
Dex?
can't make it, it keeps burning.
Dex.
All right. So indeed, it
Still
does
burning.
keep burning.
Just kill it off screen.
That's it.
Another 15.
Drop, stop, and roll.
Right. I'm trying to teleport into like the plane of elemental water or something.
Jumps into
all
water,
right.
keeps burning.
Exactly.
Yeah, they can't be extinguished by non-magical means. It says.
Oh, is that what it says? So that's
Yeah.
what he does do. He teleports to the elemental plane of water and he's like, no. Lady Eleanor.
Alright, let's finish off this beholder if we can. For a 36.
And it pops and sinks to the ground. like an oversized squeaky toy.
Alrighty, and I'll use my movement to move 30 feet this way to try and join the others.
Excellent. All right. It once again, this time actually uses Innovation Ray, and Sildarin will be the target for a second time, as you are struck with a bolt of purple energy, necrotic energy.
Nice.
23 halved is going to be 11.
That's a lot of ones.
Certainly is. His poor Innovation Ray eye is obviously mangled at this point.
I also put that ring of necrotic resistance back on when I took the Ouroboros off. So.
Ah, very good. So it goes from 11 to 5. It's insignificant. All right. Well, Sildarin, you should be able to finish this off.
Keep chopping away.
That'll do. And you execute it, leaving the poor spiritual weapon to feel a little bit like a fifth wheel.
Over here and make sure there's nothing over here, I guess.
All right. So this hall was once a gallery. Artworks may have once lined the walls. You can see the impressions on the wall where the art was, though it's long since been destroyed or stolen or deteriorated. Tapestries, fragments of tapestries and paintings can be found, but they have virtually zero value. There's also an alchemical laboratory set up, maybe at somewhere along here, maybe at the halfway down or thereabouts. Just like a little table that has a collection of acids and bases and scientific equipment, um, um, including a few samples such as marbles, black and white. It looks like a chemistry laboratory, but if a very, very simple and primitive one. Not primitive by your eyes, I guess, but a simple little laboratory. All right, flightless.
I suppose the telepathic link is that all of them?
From this end, yes, one teleported away.
See anything over here?
Not seeing anything
I
on this end?
don't think so.
I don't hear anything.
I suppose it's like because I noticed some skulls that might be significant. Can we stop for a moment so I can search through them?
Yes, I just need to wait for my spell to finish burning the Mind Flayer to death, and then I'll be right over.
I suppose just for curiosity, can we roll it out to see if he does die? Like if we're out of initiative?
Yeah, absolutely.
Still a question mark on that board.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there is.
Hmm.
I suppose flights will go to the skulls and start searching through them then? See that.
Yeah. They're poetry. Specifically the Dirge of Delzone.
I suppose he'll might as well pick that one up, and then with his bonus action he will just search the area around him again. And since he moves
Sure,
less than 15 feet, he gets advantage.
You find 2d4 of those fragments, and each of them is worth 50 gold pieces. They're old scripts, hundreds of years old, of an important piece of art.
A decent amount of them too.
So 6 scroll fragments, and each of them, is the sort of historical artifact that any dwarven museum would be very proud to have. Yeah, I guess we can go out of initiative. There's no obvious or immediate threat.
I'm thinking the Dirge might also appreciate having recovered these.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good example of someone who would want them. The mercenary band that is named after the poem would no doubt be delighted to have some of these fragments.
It's just like, I don't know, it's poetry.
It is it? I'm unable to read it, unfortunately.
He'll nod, like, yeah, saying yes.
Kind of poke the corpse of the mind flayer with the blunt end of my halberd. So this is a mind flayer. Heard of them, but to see one in the flesh, most unsettling.
Yes, like, I heard they were dangerous.
Felt it clutching at my mind, like it was trying to influence me in some way, but I managed to resist it. It would seem such mind tricks are the best they have up close. Well, it folded quite easily.
I was going to do some sort of history arcana to see what happened had it overpowered us.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Alcove on the side.
absolutely. Yeah. There's evidence that of research. Indeed, actually, you will see, Sildarin, that this mind flayer, when it was killed, the one that you killed, dropped a skull that is shaped like a mind flayer's skull, but is made of quartz or some other crystal. Flightless, yeah, you can confirm that it's likely that if your mind was numbed, then there's a high chance that they would have used their tentacles to suck out your brain.
So where was that skull thing?
I think around about where you're standing now, basically where the mind flayer died, which is pretty much where you are, I think.
That's the mind
Oh, he
flayer
didn't
got
die. He
teleported away.
teleported. That's why he teleported. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
So we're about to see whether or not he died.
Yeah,
He burns to death.
Also,
Yeah,
can't think of a better use for contact on the plane later. It's like, did that dude die?
I think he's gonna die.
He's still burning.
I'll give him one more check to see if this is the do or die one. Ooh,
This is DC 18.
DC's 18. Yeah, that's the end. He's at -1.
Yes, I either know he passed or died because the concentration, I guess, will just drop.
Good point. Yeah, good call. Passed or died.
So go join the others, I guess, so we're not separated.
I guess you come up and Flightless is carefully wrapping like very old fragments in like cloth and packing them carefully in his bag.
Seems to be some weird runes on the path, like ahead of us.
Weird
Cool to
how?
check out. I just saw some weird markings on the floor. I don't know if they're actually meant to be markings on that, but they look pretty funky. Ugh. I say with the English one, I like been awake for too long. Go really far up, it looks like there's writing on the floor up here.
Yeah, dwarven runes, maybe not dwarven runes of some sort.
It also looks like this is something weird here along the wall, like barrels or something.
Oh yeah, that's where the artworks used to be.
Ah, okay.
I suppose
Yeah,
I'll roll
mounts.
my investigation for this section.
Yeah, cool.
Nearly clicked intimidation.
All right. So Leo's instincts were right. These are runes. They are runes designed to target humanoids. It's a relatively simple spell, a hold person spell. but somebody has gone to the trouble of creating, I guess, what we'd call a trap, a glyph that activates hold person when a humanoid steps over it, and only a humanoid, since hold person only targets people.
If I look up, is there a net with rocks and ready to drop things on? Well, similar like contraption, like on the ceiling.
No, nothing physically harmful. Just something that is meant to stop humanoids in their tracks.
Can I go
Beyond it is a set
outside?
of double doors, big pair of stone doors.
Can I roll a history to see if such things were common in like dwarven, I guess, settlements? Like,
Yeah, sure. These aren't dwarven runes
Oh,
though,
okay.
and they're
Oh,
also
sorry.
relatively new. So, yeah,
oh, so
yeah,
the runes
yeah,
are
it's
relatively new.
relatively new, and yeah, not in the dwarven language.
I wonder if the doctor put these in.
Probably actually.
Hmm. Then this doctor may well be beyond these doors.
Watch out for the 4 squares in between them. There's probably another trap there.
Well, I guess
I'll use my pearl of
the runes get anyone who steps into like the sort of area.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll use my pearl of power to restore one of my spell slots,
Okay.
and also look towards Sildarin and say, "You're all right, Sildarin. You look a little worse for wear."
A little less,
I'm a little diminished.
Yes. Would the Arcana
My
feel like?
beholder hurt.
How would you disable such runes? Like, I guess you couldn't just fill them in with like dirt or something.
Took too many combat spells. I don't have dispel magic. I was like, combat.
Well,
You can
I do.
use thieves' tools in a creative sense, but as you say, it's pretty tricky, and very easy. But essentially, if you mess it up, then you're going to activate the trap. If it was a disintegrate, that'd be a much worse situation than a whole person.
And unfortunately, Flightless has forgery kit instead of thieves' tools.
Right. Yeah. So
How many runes are there?
just one set of them. Yeah.
So a single dispel magic would get rid of them all.
It should do. That's correct. Yeah, it should do.
Yeah, I'm not a very good wizard. I don't have that spell.
Huh. I'm a
I'll
war
step
wizard,
forward
not a utility wizard.
I took a war wizard too literally.
I'll extend my hand towards the runes, and close my eyes for a moment, then open them again and say a few words under my breath. A flash of light cascades from my hand and envelops the runes, and they, I assume, become inert.
They do become inert. There is still the impressions that, like the carving out of the stone, is still there, but the magic infusement into it has vanished, making them useless.
There, our way is clear.
You have to spell magic.
I do.
This is where I'm like a really petty wizard. And I'm like, kill this spell.
No,
Where's your
I'll not have the
spellbook?
paladin. I'll not have the paladin upstaging me. No.
That's right. You're not the star of this show.
Right. I suggest we make sure we're ready before we go through that door. I have a feeling we're like to encounter heavy resistance.
Yeah, shut up, Mary Sue.
Yeah, shut up, Ray Skywalker. I mean, it's Captain Marvel.
You mean? Yeah,
Captain
that's what I said.
Marvel. Shut up, Captain Marvel.
I suppose Flightless will try to, be a bit stealthier and get up by the door and try to listen to if you can hear anything on the other side.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, you don't hear anything, but you do smell things. Sildarin and Flightless, you both smell things. It sounds like, smells the familiar stenches of corpse flesh and preservation fluid. Yeah, you've smelled these auras before.
Hit myself with one more healing spell before we open this door.
Flightless will back off over the inert wound.
Cool. If you like, I can do something for you.
We're getting there. Should be alright.
Seeing you heal yourself, I'll top myself up for 9 points of lay on hands, and then I'll spend 10 of that, 10 of what I have remaining on Sildarin for 10 restored to him.
We
Which
open the
leaves me
door
with
for
9
undead
points
to
left.
ask.
Many thanks for that.
Oh, I accidentally got rid of the 1 before the 31, and my health bar just shrank. There we go. All right.
First, just assault him quickly again.
Hmm?
Just, rush into the room. Probably best.
Let's do it.
All right. So you force the doors open, and as you do, you see a couple of ogre zombies on the other side waiting for you. Their lumbering gait means that you're likely to act for them. And we roll for initiative.
I see something spoopy.
Yeah.
He looks pretty healthy, that boy.
Indeed, he does.
One flight.
It'll have been more than a minute, right? So my transformation thing would be gone.
I think that's accurate. Yeah.
Right, this is caught off guard. Eleanor was caught off guard.
Yeah,
I didn't know we were going yet.
Did you not see? Well, this is certainly something.
That poor ogre zombie rolling a crit and getting an 18.
So, as soon as you throw these heavy stone doors open, the mind flayers telepathically communicate with you, and they offer now familiar pleas of parley, of a desire to communicate. They attempt to placate us with praise, congratulations, and assurances that that they are peaceful and non-combatants. And you will, those of you who can see the beholder, which I think is at least one or two of you, will notice that the beholder is wearing a monocle that covers its entire central eye. There is a pretty extensive alchemical laboratory in this area, and so there is copper tubes going in between beakers and barrels. Liquids, blue, black, and green, are flowing through them. There are a number of charts, most of which are written in a braille language, a physical language rather than a numerical or alphabetical one. This is a scientific laboratory that has been constructed within um, uh, some kind of former gallery that the dwarves built. Several vials and barrels can be seen here, so it's an ongoing scientific laboratory. Leo.
I'm going to come into... Wait, I started... I've got to count my squares. Ah, there he is. What's a little symbol mean?
Sanctuary, I'm going to assume, but it's some sort of defensive.
Oh, hang on a moment. I think I've got a delivery, so I've never dealt with these people before, so I'm going to have to go and deal with them. I'll be back shortly.
Ah, yeah, go mess him up, Arctic. Fight. Right, okay, so I've got my plan for killing this mind flare. I think it's going to be a good meme, and I'm going to want to do it. I want to banish him, and then walk into the room, stand beside where he's going to reappear, and when he reappears, disintegrate him.
You might struggle to walk into the room though. What with the big old ogre zombies and the beholder and the other mind
And I
flayer.
think casting spells might be difficult with a beholder as well.
Is it a real beholder? Not an undead one.
Although it was said that he has a monocle, and
yeah.
I think the implication there is that it blocks his anti-magic cone.
Oh,
The
because
doctor, the beholder, or the mind flare?
I think the doctor would be the arcanist.
Makes sense. Imagine that little blip thing on one of the mind flayers to indicate that they're the arcanist.
The one with the
I
different
can't see
token
the
than the
mind
rest
flare.
of them.
There's one straight across the room from us.
Yeah, that's the one I can see. I didn't realize there was multiple.
I can't see the beholder. It must be down to the south. The mind flayers might not be from this plane, though, so if you banish them, they might not come back.
So only if the full concentration goes through?
So I think
To just do the opposite of Finnick. Or I reckon it's intelligence saving throws. I could try to mental prison it instead.
To you, being mind flayers, I imagine their
That'll be their
intelligence
forte.
saves pretty good.
Yeah, probably.
Quick AFK.
Just think of what to do while I wait. Arctic's not there anyway, so we've got the time.
Can't remember the last time I actually fought a real beholder.
It was in
I
the
know we have
Tedium,
earlier in
wasn't
the
it?
campaign. Yeah, I wasn't there for that session though, sadly. So I think I fought on a real one, like in person once.
So, how about rush past these undead and then we can rush the spellcasters? Seems like the better plan.
Definitely considering it. Because they are basically like a big meat wall supposed to slow us down.
Tempted to do like bonus action investigation to see if any of like the chemicals here are worth putting like just yeeting at them.
Yeah, that's a good idea, yeah.
So the price of fish has gone up again.
Price of fish.
That's like
Sorry.
all you can do, isn't it?
I lost connection. So, you're American.
Who's American?
I was trying to be the small talk and I failed. Rolled the net one.
Nice.
Are you from England, Locke? Because you mentioned UK time. Did I
No,
just
I'm
miss that
Canadian.
one? Ah,
I
so
assumed
better Americans.
I assumed Eleanor was Great Britain somewhere.
British. And yeah, I am.
You British, ain't it, bruv?
Yeah, bruv.
Fires at the bins at Macca's, bruv.
Don't speak the dark tongue here.
Why? You think you're it, but you just a trash man, ain't you? Damn it. I can speak like my younger brother.
The term is waste man. I'll have you know.
Ah, yeah, waste man. Yeah, that's how my younger brother talks. He's well in it with the chav talk.
Yeah, it makes me
Alright.
cringe. All that chav slang.
Yeah. Pretty exciting.
I was just gonna fireball down here.
Just gonna fireball. That's fair.
Just spoil their
Unfortunately,
equipment.
the beholder's anti-magic eye is going to interfere with that.
Oh, I can't even see the beholder.
All right. Then you cast the spell, and it has. Oh, actually no. Well, if you can't see the beholder, then it's going to go off. Or will it?
All I can see is this little tiny slither of the token. I can't actually see the beholder.
The beholder's central eye creates anti-magic. Yeah, well, I guess you'll cast the spell, and when it comes into the cone, that's when it'll fail. So you get the spell cast, but then it doesn't manifest thanks to the beholder's anti-magic eye.
Does it nullify the entire fireball, or just the fireball that the beholder can see?
Um,
I think it's fair to say the beholder can see the entire thing. I think.
yeah, it
50-foot cone, Jesus.
precisely. Like it's enormous to take up this whole area with ease. And the anti-magic would cancel it out as soon as the spell enters it. I'm confident that's how it would work. Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. All right. So you cast the spell. It has no effect.
Interesting to see if the mind blasts work in the anti-magic zone.
It will be interesting to find that out.
Like right about now.
Right about now.
Some people would argue that it's psionics, not magic. So it probably will.
Indeed. And it is psionics and it isn't magic. That's all correct. Gee, where's its character sheet go?
It's gonna come back as like a mystic instead.
Yeah. So that close its character sheet, but I'll reopen it now. It didn't work. Try once more. Nope, still not working. Fuck. Try a third time. Okay, cool. Here we go.
I suppose the benefit is we all get the Paladin aura.
Yeah.
+4 to your int saves. That's not good. In fact, it's so not good that
Not
I'm gonna
advantage.
reroll it.
But I still pass.
Better.
Okay, DC is 15, so you'll each pass, and the damage is all but negligible. And on a successful save, there's no damage.
Alright.
The Mind Flayer retreats behind an old dwarven statue.
Running out of inspiration.
Yeah. That's if that's the best they can do, then it's better than nothing. The zombies move up a little bit, not quite that far, and reach out towards the nearest target. The first one going for Eleanor, and the second one going for Sildarin. Eleanor and Sildarin.
So much for running past these.
23 on Sildarin. Will that help?
Shield gives you 24.
Missed by one.
Yeah.
Missed by one? Alright, and it is stopped by your force field. Another Mind Blast immediately follows the first.
Super good.
Nice.
And so we make fresh intelligence saves. They are all passes, assuming that Flightless gets that +6, but Sildarin's is not.
Oh,
so
no,
you
I
are
have
stunned.
less.
Oh, you don't? Alright, so
I will use
Flightless.
inspiration.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because being stunned doesn't sound fun.
No, and especially not in the first round of combat.
What, I ticked it off?
Alright,
Oh, it is +5 because Ouroboros plus Eleanor's thing. Yeah, so yeah, I'm good.
right. Okie dokie. So 25 points of damage to Sildarin, and he is stunned. The stun lingers as well. I'll bring up the exact effect.
I forgot. No, I would have passed the first check anyway, I think.
I thought you might have, yeah.
Yeah, because the bless was a 1. You guys gonna have that back?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Okay, you can repeat the save at the end of your turn, Sildarin.
Okay, and I guess it's my turn.
It is.
So sorry, that was 25 now.
Yeah, 25 damage and a stun. Yeah.
Alright, so I'll stand there and drool for 6 seconds and continue to drool.
And their drool.
All right. Flightless. Sildarin is involuntarily blocking your path.
It's
I
unfortunate.
got this.
Well, I think we need to get past these ogres as quickly as we can. So I think the top one has because Eleanor's not stunned, has a bigger chance of going down first. So that's
Possibly.
5, 10, 15, and you'll stab the one here.
All right, get in there.
Yeah, and he will use his insightful fighting, because otherwise he won't get his sneak attack.
Sure thing.
At 24.
Excellent. Armor class is like 8 or something.
At 28 damage.
Okay, and you pop one of the bloated internal organs, which begins to leak a yellow-brown fluid.
Yeah, I should note that if the beholder is looking this way, it's a standard rapier.
Yes, good point. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's a valid point.
So 1 less to hit, 1 less damage.
One less, one less. All right.
But I suppose if it needs a magical weapon to hit, it might be even half damage.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Okay. The beholder
Does the
speaks.
anti-magic go through? Doesn't go through like doors and walls and stuff, does it?
Doesn't get through
Or
doors
does
and
it?
walls. No, it doesn't. But when a spell effect enters into it, like if an arcane or in our case a fireball goes into it, it cancels out. It's like a fire with no oxygen. It just can't exist. All right. The beholder speaks in a deep and ponderous voice. Please, we come in peace. We mean you no harm and are merely here doing research. We would have hoped that you would voluntarily participate in such experiments, but if you are not inclined to do so, we simply ask that you leave us be. It then spins itself around so that the anti-magic no longer applies and targets us instead with its eye rays. I'll check to see who it can see from this particular angle. I have to give it some sight first. Okay, so it sees a few of us pretty well, with Flightless being the one in the front. So at first it hits Flightless with a paralyzation ray.
I was hoping for Dex, but never. But nice.
Alright, then a sleep ray, a petrification. Okay. So you get your Dex check that you wanted. Please, I mean you no harm. Do not
Zap, zap, zap.
do not resist.
Fly this out here, recreating the matrix, it's like dot bullet time scene, and he's like, "Do not resist. I want to be your friend."
I have much more potent weapons that I am holding back on, but I will not be able to hold back much longer.
Is this for me as well?
It's also for you.
Paladin goodness coming in
It's
clutch.
pulling in its weight.
Please leave us be that we might continue our research in peace. We are not here on seeking war or conflict, but rather enlightenment that can be shared among species and indeed among various worlds.
This research is foul and abhorrent. It cannot be allowed to continue.
The holder floats away with its eye still turned away, as it can only choose one direction per turn, which is pretty good because otherwise it'd be a bit of a rort if it could
He just
anti-magic
spin for
spin.
free.
Yeah.
Although he's just like sulking in the corner because he didn't get what he wanted.
Yeah. Oh no, this is not the way the investigation is meant to go. And I can't resist now but share with you his picture.
Dr.
He is the
Ocular.
doctor. He is the doctor.
Nice.
Okay, that's a cool picture.
Lady Eleanor.
Funny. Alright, let's see. What do?
Sometimes I can imagine like, using him as like sort of a GLaDOS like in a like puzzle game.
Alright, I think I've got an idea for something. I'll move here, and seeing as I have access to my spells and whatnot again, I'll bonus action Thunderous Smite, and then attack the ogre in front of me. It's a nice 12, but I think it still hits because it's an ogre, right?
Sure does.
Alright, so that will be... let me check some of these...
You are hurting the merchandise. I require those automations for automatons to complete my work.
this damage roll isn't strictly accurate. Oh, it is, because I togged it off before I hit the button. So 18 damage and a strength save from the ogre.
My environmentally friendly assistants. I've recycled you, and now you're being destroyed.
Should be 3 extra thunder damage on top of that, because the Thunderous Smite. Alright, if it fails, which I think it did, my DC is... I haven't really cast a DC spell in a while. 16.
Incredible.
Let me find the spell and ping it.
The force of your magical powers are indeed considerable, that you should take a formidable giant off its feet with such a blast.
Yeah, this
Most impressive.
pushed 10 feet away from me and knocked prone. Just smash aside this meat wall.
Your talent is astounding and admirable. How much damage?
So it would be 21 total.
I plead not for your mercy nor compassion, but simply your intellectual understanding. I am deeply involved in a scientific search that will lead to great things for your world.
Yeah. Not really sure how to respond to that. So I guess I won't. I'll just keep attacking. Let that be my my message.
This is most unfortunate.
I was here. I've already moved. I can't take that movement back. So 5, 15 I've moved. 20, 25.
You do your
Just
entire
enough, yeah.
species a disservice through this barbarism.
You just hear this droning voice in the back of my head for the whole encounter. He's like offering commentary on everything that's happening. Alright, things I can't get quite where I wanted to, just barely not enough. I'll remain here and try to keep the wall prized open, so to speak,
Sure.
and I'll continue laying into the one that's prone.
Easy.
Advantages too. That's pretty good.
For 12.
All right, and you hack off one of its hands. Your predilection to show a lack of mercy is not a credit to your species' compassion.
Right.
I have to kill it just to make it shut up.
If like let's just start reciting the what is it? An encyclopedia and start at A, just in his mind, just to I guess just to taunt that he knows a lot.
The Mind Flayer opens up with another Mind Blast. It's a signature move. That will hit all of us.
But now Leo is out of paladin goodness.
He's a wizard, he'll be fine.
If I fail, death to your family.
Huh.
Oh, Flightless is doing well.
I
I
just
guess
wipe
I'll
this drop of
save again
drop
just in
of
terms
blood.
of damage.
Yeah, that's right. And continued psychic stun. Like it's not gonna double stun you. You won't have to make 2 saving throws.
That would be the worst if it stacked.
Yeah. You got like 3 or 4 stun effects on you simultaneously.
But yeah, you remain stunned. Just no further damage, and the Mind Flayer gets out of the way so that its fellow can help in the assault.
Yeah, this one probably has some spells.
It does. And it casts one of those spells.
Unbelievable.
I don't think we're within counterspell range anyway. Here we are.
Potentially, it's just whether or not he can see him.
I can see him, but I don't know if it's worth it because it might just be another psionic spell that doesn't like actually get countered.
Certainly might be. So it casts the spell?
Yep.
Alright. And alright. Just a moment. There's no obvious effect to whatever the spell was, so you don't strictly know what just happened.
Concerning.
And backs off as well. Just seeks refuge with the beholder.
It's both sulking in the corner.
The ogre zombies. So one of them,
Ah.
of course, gets up. Yep. Did I skip someone? I did. Leo. Did I?
Did you? I can't remember anymore. Did I take a turn?
I don't think you did. Did
No,
you?
I don't think you did.
No, I don't think so. I think
Because
the only thing you've
Eleanor
done
goes
so far
first.
is
Eleanor goes last,
I
and then Leo goes.
Right,
Yeah.
so it's Leo's go. I skipped over him.
Sorry. We'll move 15 to here. And there. Yes. Back is turned now, right?
Yeah.
Can't spell this fireball. I mean, stop this fireball.
And ironically, it does. Because
I'm
it
very,
gets to
very
about
sad now.
here, and that's when it goes off. Maybe a little bit further. It gets actually to here, and then apparently hits some kind of invisible wall of force and explodes, catching both of the ogres as well as Leo and Eleanor in the blast.
That's dirty, but funny as
very
hell.
dirty. It is pretty funny though, yeah. What's your DC? 18? I can use my ring of evasion to make the deck save. Especially for that damage.
You were not expecting that.
Failed my own deck to take full damage.
Flabbergasted.
You're like
That is fun.
Wile E. Coyote right now, right? Like it just
Wait.
blows up in your face.
Wait, Flightless he can see invisible things. He'd be able to see the wall, wouldn't he?
So yeah. Good point. I didn't think of it, but it only just came up. He only just
Fair
put
enough.
it down. So yeah.
Flightless, he sees the wall going up, he sees the fireball going, and he just facepalms.
So I'll put that invisible wall in there now.
That's quite fun.
Good. The blast goes up in your face, and the ogres get onto their feet and strike out. One of them strikes at Eleanor, and the other strikes at Leo. 25, Leo. Con
Yeah.
save.
I had to use my reaction. Can't use it for that either.
Yeah,
Can't
paladin
save.
goodness.
Sorry, my cat's trying to turn my PC off like every 2 seconds.
Alright, you are too flabbergasted to be paralysed. You're already a little bit miffed, and although the ogre strikes you brutally, it's not enough to stop you in your tracks.
At least this wall of force helps us to a certain extent. I don't think the beholder can shoot certain eye rays through it.
But I'm interested to find out if the mind flayer can. So let's see what it says on Wall of Force.
Wouldn't the wall of force go away the moment it turns? Oh yeah, because
I think the wall of force gives
just have to
total
look at
cover
us.
to whatever's behind it. I think it's just specifically stop players doing things like this.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, what's the spell say?
Visible wall, wall, blah blah blah. Panel, wall cuts through his face when it appears. Push. Nothing can physically pass through. Immune to all damage. Can't be dispelled. Okay, so that's not going to stop psychic energy then, because it's psychic energy, not physical. So it can still get its Mind Blast off, but I don't know if it's able to recharge its Mind Blast. Let's find that out now. It does not.
He's thinking.
He's thinking.
I think the mind flayers just had their turn. 'Cause they put up the wall of force just now.
No. One's a scion and one's a mage.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. And so the psionic one now attempts to use its dominate ability.
So I think they both mind blasted, and I remembered that Leo didn't have his turn. Then we went back for him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Only one of them mind blasted though. That was the one named Mind Flayer, which is the. Yeah, that's right. And he did a wall of force, not a mind blast. Am I doing that right? Maybe I'm doing that wrong.
Somebody mind blasted us because we all
Somebody did,
made
so-
saves.
Yeah, good call. So I must have. Oh shit! When did I do it? I'm getting a bit confused now. Anyway, I think you might be right. I think they've probably both taken their turn, so this one will back off as well. Yeah, cool. Try to keep better track of it from now on. Sildarin.
Come on in, saving throw. Huzzah.
Barely.
Excellent.
15, is that the DC on that thing?
It certainly is. You've reached the magic number.
Alright, I guess we'll be back in the fight next round.
Indeed.
Unless I get mind blasted between now and then.
There is a reasonable chance that you will. All right, Flightless.
Yes, again. Actually, seeing the wall, Because it's only 10 feet tall. Does it go to the ceiling?
But it's contiguous, I think. So I think it doesn't have to be 10 foot. It's 10-foot panels. In any case, yes, it does.
So I guess he'll meant like through the telepathy let the party know we can't get to them. We can't get to the mind flayers.
Well, they can't keep it up forever.
Yes, I guess you'll just stab this one.
All right.
All right, Leo's going to disintegrate the wall for us.
No.
That's 31 damage. That's pretty decent.
And it pops, making your job that much easier.
I suppose, can I do bonus action investigation to check to see if any of the files would be of immediate use, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, investigation or arcana, both will work.
Because I'm going to do investigation because I can do that one as a bonus action.
Yeah.
27.
There is a scroll here among the notes. One of the notes is a scroll of arcane eye, and three of the concoctions appear to be magical potions, but you can't know what they are with just a simple glance.
And I guess they're not labelled? Or
No, they're not
suppose
labelled,
written in
no.
abyssal or something?
It's something like that. They're written in braille because mind players use their tentacles to read.
That is the end of my turn.
Very good. Is there anything that I can do to assure you of the integrity of my research? I would be most interested in having a discussion if you would like to learn more.
See what point there would be in such a discussion. Not when your research involves these undead abominations.
They are merely used as automatons, as I do not have any hands, and thus it is quite difficult for me to manipulate things on a simple level, short of using telekinesis. After all, they were already dead. Is it not practical to recycle their bodies for the sake of science?
Absolutely not. To desecrate the dead is sacrilege.
But they are dead monsters. They are your ancestral enemies. It has no effect on you in any way, shape, or form. Why must you take it so personally?
The undeath is a blight on the world. There is no possible justification for it.
Is not the greater good for your entire species and world sufficient justification for the manipulation of one emotionless corpse?
But you keep speaking of the greater good. What exactly do you mean?
Ah, I'm glad you asked, he says. He's holding an action, but he is unable to use it at this point. It's your go.
Well, having been informed by Flightless we can't get to them, and having seen the fireball explode spectacularly on some sort of invisible barrier, it's pretty clear that I can't rush the mind flayers as much as I'd like to.
Seeing Eleanor
So,
splat against the wall would have been funny.
Huh.
of course, that's what would have happened if Leo hadn't fireballed.
That's what I thought would happen. Yeah.
I'll lay into this ogre zombie, try to finish it off. So we've got no more enemies on this side of the wall.
I'm gonna bet 99% chance that you finish it off. 99.7%.
There's a good chance. Just yes. Or
Oh, it's still standing. Oh! There's. You're telling me there's a chance? No.
10 more.
Okay, so 23, 25 will take it out, and it falls to the ground with a wet thud, spilling out the embalming fluid that is keeping it in this semi-state of decay. A chunk of onyx falls out of its skull. It's finely polished, more or less spherical, and this piece of onyx falls out of the ground and rolls across the stone floor, coming to rest against the wall of force.
I can imagine
Seeing as
Eleanor
you're
being
high-
like Darth Maul, just pacing back and forth, waiting.
Seeing as you are hiding behind a wall of whatever magical energy you've conjured, we have no choice but to listen to you.
Can wait till my
Five.
turn, Eleanor.
I'll move. Yeah, I don't know that though in character. So I'll move 5 feet here so that. Oh, actually, no. I'll move 5 feet here so that I have everybody within my.
I was going to say, instead of like being in my human shield, you're going to cower behind me.
No, it's just so I can get everybody within my aura.
Well, the Genesis Project, he begins, but Leo, it's your go.
Not stop the might of Cormia. I'm going to walk up to the shield and disintegrate it. Disintegrate the wall of force.
Well, that is a downer.
Just like,
I
it's
must
gone.
say, you are able to suffer an impressive amount of energy in your disintegration ability. I cannot but help but feel somewhat jealous.
Disintegrate is so brutal.
Not jealous on an academic level, of course. It's nothing personal.
That's my turn.
The Mind Flayer freaks out. Like, this is no time for negotiation, it thinks telepathically. Our lives are at stake here. Seeing as Leo is in the Mind Flayer's mind the most crucial one at this point, Leo is the one who is targeted by a Wisdom saving throw.
Is your wisdom as good as your intelligence? Good enough, I guess.
I've tried Dominate Monster time and time again. It's a 9th level spell and it's not doing shit.
Problem is
Alright.
it's save or suck.
Indeed.
And that one time it works, you'll probably wipe the party.
I am sorry for this, but if I am being entirely honest, I know that your abilities are more powerful than my own. And Leo is targeted by a second spell. This one is a dexterity saving throw. It's the held action that the beholder has.
That's my my big weakness. What's the
Yeah.
DC?
Higher than that.
Higher than
Oh
10.
no, it's higher than 14. I can't do anything, but if it's 14, I can do something.
It's higher than 14, yeah.
Sweet man, I can't do anything then.
Okay.
Oh no. You're hitting you with the no you.
Little tit for tat.
That's right. I do not wish to do this. I think that you are a valuable component of this world, and the potential that you have as a research assistant is incalculable.
I thought you just died, but you see that slither, it's there.
1 HP dream.
You're kidding
One
me! You're
HP
on one
in a
hit
dream.
point.
1 HP dream.
Oh.
50
Fast.
HP.
That is hilarious because you can't revivify from disintegration. That's for sure.
No. Fuck.
Didn't this
No,
happen
no.
with your rabbit as well? Wasn't he also on 1 hit point during the duel? I think.
It
Anyway,
was down to like 5.
5. Yeah, cool.
The magic pixel.
As you can see, I do not wish to harm you, but I do have the ability to inflict lethal force in circumstances where I am feeling that my research may be threatened.
Guess Leo's going to spit blood onto the floor and say, I've seen better magic.
Very well. All right. Who's close enough? I keep getting the two mixed up. So one that's supposed to be an Arcanist is... Doesn't matter. I'm just making excuses. Okay, so it has a no mind blast, but But it does have its dominate person, I'm pretty sure. I don't think they've both used them. Have they
One
both?
of them still has it. We've only had one
One,
so
yeah?
far. Because you
Good,
tried
that's
to use
what I
one
thought.
before, and you're like, oh no, he used his turn, so you held off.
True. Oh, yeah, good call. Alright, well, trying to assess which one it considers to be the most dangerous. I guess it has to go with Eleanor, so it's a wisdom save, Eleanor.
Alright, I'll entertain this, just out of curiosity. Although,
Pretty
it would have
unlikely to
been,
fail.
whereas it would have been ultimately futile, as he wouldn't have been able to charm any of us.
Oh, yeah, and it is a charm as well. Yeah. The dominant monster's a charm. Yeah, cool. And the creature backs off and tries to take cover behind an old pillar. Sildarin, you're back in the land of the conscious.
Huzzah! I think
That feature finally relevant.
It's done its job for the campaign.
Yeah. Had it since 7th level, and for the first time it's mattered.
Hmm.
You see, if you was a monk, that you would have had to spend your action to do
Leo.
that.
Yeah.
Alright, who are you healing, Sildarin?
Leo.
I would hope so. I just wanted to make sure, that's all.
The beholder.
Incredible. Your atom structure had been discombobulated to the point of entropy, and yet you were able to manipulate the magical time stream and the weave in order to refurbish the body to the point of structural integrity. Commendable.
I guess I'll step forward.
Individually, you are all but unstoppable, but as a cadre, that is where your abilities are truly glimmering and shining.
I guess I'll throw a spiritual weapon down into the corner behind the Arcanist there.
That would be 2
This is-
leveled spells in a turn, I think.
Good point.
I think it would.
Oh yeah, sorry. I don't know.
I am,
It's a
of
bonus
course,
action, but
I am not attempting to appeal to your compassion, nor even flattering you. It is simply my observation on the quality of your synergies.
yeah, I'll stay put. Enjoy Lady Eleanor's aura a little longer.
Indeed, it's worked so far. Flightless.
Spell's so good. Basically, got my hit points back. Basically, back to full.
Right. Shit, that was close though. Yeah,
Oh,
they're
make or
coming
break
back from
moment.
disintegration. You need true resurrection at that point.
That's why everyone fears it.
Yeah, move,
Yeah,
bonus action dash. Actually, there's no. He'll move here and then throw one of his. Yeah, you'll throw one of his shurikens at it after using his bonus action to incite for fighting.
brilliant.
It took a while, but I got there in the end. He might actually beat that.
He might too. It's my mind flayer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Insight check, yeah.
Deception.
Deception. So it was possible.
And does 16 hit the beholder? I mean, not beholder,
It-
the boy.
It does. Yeah.
That's 26 damage.
It fills your mind with psychic horrors of, whereas the beholder seems to be quite dispassionate and more interested in its work than its own life. The mind flayer does not share the same academic zeal, and it greatly fears its mortal death.
And I suppose it's pretty that he's an academic and I'm just coming at him with bits of flint.
How primitive.
Yeah, it's like we got these from like the Hobgoblin Assassins from like level 4. And he's just been picking them up.
It is truly a sign of barbarism when Stone Age tools can be used to end space age aspirations.
I guess Flatus will mimic a child laughing at him.
Incredible. Your ability to recollect foreign sounds is as good as any recording that I have ever observed, magical, technological, or otherwise.
Guess that is the end of his turn. I can't wait to get disintegrated.
I'm waiting for it.
Well, I have tried my very best, but when my best is not enough, I have little left but to give everything that I have. And it starts with an innovation ray on flightless.
Constitution, of course.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Or just short.
DC is 16.
Yes, not. I take some damage.
You will. You'll take 22 necrotic damage. You'll then. It's followed by a dex save.
Oh,
I'll use my inspiration
No.
on that one because I'm meant to be good at that one.
please do. Hey.
And it's a pass. This is the least favorite of my options, but in the interest of preserving the research of the Genesis Project, I am left with little choice.
No. Oh, this is a
Incredible.
sigh of relief.
The speed of your reactions is formidable and truly remarkable. It is rare to find a mortal creature with such astute intuition. You are to be commended, Lady Eleanor.
Alright, I've had enough of you clawing at our minds with your words and your magic and your psionics. 5, 10,
My attempts at intellectual
15,
reasoning have failed. I feel that the onus
25,
is on me. It is
30.
not your fault that you are guided by such primitive impulses as a desire for bloodshed.
Well, just barely able to get here. Thank God for pole arms. So let's see if we can finish off this mind flayer. One who dared try to dominate person. And we'll put a first level smite behind this. Try and take him out.
Right.
Owlbird. 16.
Yeah. It won't work because he's behind the pillar. So his attempt to seek cover has saved his life. It's a Beholder finds fascinating. How curious that this battle is being decided on by the most primitive factors. Blocks of stone, shards of flint, when all of the technological and magical and psionic advancements in the multiverse are proving of little use. So curious.
Alright, I'll take another swing, this time with a second level smite behind it. Like I'm just upping the ante because get less attacks. Oh, that's not going to hit.
Fascinating.
Which means that my final pole strike, I'll put a third level smite behind to try and make up for not hitting. There we go. For a lot.
While I am rarely a fan of martial arts, I find that your ability to utilize your weapon in unconventional means to be a particularly intellectual approach to such a primitive action.
Save your breath. Yeah,
For what?
35 to the mind flayer.
Will I be using it in the future? I think not if I am already dead.
I didn't kill him, sad. Alright.
Yes, I might as well use all my breaths now.
Exactly. Seems logical to take advantage of speech while I still have the ability to do so. Leo.
I guess before I'm gonna telepathically ask, is there any more invisible barricades
I don't.
to Flyders?
No, I don't see any more.
About to cast the spell, got the guano in the hand. Wait a minute. Just want to check. Just checking.
Just checking.
Alright.
I want to
Cool.
fireball myself again.
Okay. Bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Oh,
It's a bit of a wimpy
more.
fireball.
Roll more when I'm hitting myself.
It does.
Might just be enough to finish that one off there.
It might be. It can't. Even if it passes, it's not going to be enough. So that will kill it. He's about to plane shift, but sadly, didn't. Sadly, no. What if you wanted to plane shift, but Leo said no?
Yeah.
All right. And the mind flayer, the other mind flayer, makes his deck save. And is likewise caught up in the horror of this infernal blast.
Runs over, then sidles over to being paladin goodness.
Yeah, I noticed
Indeed.
that's what made me chuckle.
And of course, the beholder himself. It truly does burn. My physical form is suffering greatly under the agony of this infernal attack. Well, I do hope that I have had a positive contribution on the multiverse thus far, for it seems that our research must come to a premature end. Is that the end of your go, Leo?
Yes.
It is with grave regrets and eternal condolences that I turn to you, Zagblat, for last, and thank you for the research that you have committed. And while the beholder is talking, the mind flayer is just like, "No, fuck this, I'm out of here."
He sees the writing on the wall. He's like, no.
And he gets the hell out of there. Well, I suppose that is for the best. Someone must continue the experiments.
Though it's you and 8 willing creatures, you just leave the beholder behind anyway.
Oh, it does say 8 willing creatures, doesn't it? And yeah, he does leave a beholder behind.
So much for being comrades.
All right. The ogre zombie is dead. The mind flayer is gone. Sildarin.
Where's Eleanor?
Just huddling around me like a campfire in the middle of a snowy blizzard.
And then I guess I'll throw a souped up shatter at this thing.
I am beyond questioning the necessities of such actions. My greater disappointment is not in my death, but rather in the fact that you seem entirely disinterested in a lifetime of research.
Indeed, we are not at all interested in this research of yours.
And yet you would be interested in the products of my research. Notice your curiosity at the concoctions that I have brewed.
I assume that's directed towards Flightless.
Yeah, it was. Ironic, merely ironic. I am not attempting to make this into a personal attack.
Especially I was looking for acid to throw at you.
I'll use the destructive wrath and cast it at 3rd level, so it'll be 32 thunder damage, save for half.
At least my spherical form goes some way to mitigating the worst of the kinetic energy.
That's all.
What's the damage?
He'll take 16.
Nasty. Well, not terrible. Oops, I keep. Am I doing that right? I'm not. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's not working. -16. You might have to check your own hit points. I might be reducing. No, there we go. I think maybe it was a user error. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Flightless.
Oh, I can get within range. And then bonus action is sight for fighting.
Indeed.
Bold of you to leave the paladin aura.
All right.
Me want sneak attack.
There's some chance of passing this.
It's like in Dark Souls where you greed for more damage.
Oh, and with that grievous wound, perhaps it is ironic that I have at last recognized who you are. You are the heroes of Dagger Falls, I believe.
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
Very little. I was merely going to entertain you with the banter, to inform you that I am your neighbor.
Neighbor.
Yes, I reside. Indeed, my project is based in the area called Zunatal, known to you as the Underdark beneath the Dagger Hills.
I see. This. Well, thank you for that information. We'll be sure to pay your compatriots a visit.
Oh, well, that would be most counterproductive, you see, for I am the head scientist there, and I do believe that much of my work will suffer without my intervention. My compatriots do not share the same level of intellectual curiosity that I do, and tend to exhibit signs of xenophobia that I find anathema.
Guess that's the end of my turn. I moved 25, so
In the circumstance that my demise is imminent, I would like to thank you for participating in my experiment. Indeed, or your contribution may have been involuntary for a crime that for which I can not beg forgiveness, though I can only hope that with the escape of my comrade, that my death might somehow serve the Genesis Project simply by increasing the necessity to extract your genetic information at once so that we might use it in our project. Of course,
Grimace at the reference to extract genetic information. I'm sure that isn't harmful at all.
this genetic information can as easily be obtained from molecularly disintegrated matter as well as it can from something living and organic. And he targets Flightless.
Oh no.
so that got that Constitution again. No +5.
No +5? Alright.
It is 14, but I still fail.
33.
Oh
That is a lot of damage.
no. You're good at these.
You certainly are. From dust have you come, and to dust shall you return. A foolish and primitive phrase, but one that holds a certain level of truth at this exact moment.
He got that again. Very
Save.
nice.
He's a character, so he gets special rules.
I can choose. That sucks.
He's an intellectual.
I was going to say last round, he used innovation, death, and disintegration in the exact same order as well.
In the exact same order, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, he's a beholder that has never read the monster manual. He was too busy studying chemistry.
Little does he know, I suppose he can just innovation 3 times in a row.
He can, but he doesn't understand that he hasn't seen your character sheet yet. If he had extracted your DNA in the past, then he would have been able to see your character sheet. But unfortunately, he has not.
Alright, I'll move
Lady
20
Arden.
feet here and put an end to this foul experiment.
Are you not even curious as to the nature of the Genesis project? I would be more enthusiastic if I could share my research with you before my impending doom.
Lift my halberd and go to strike at him, but then stop it short and say, "Very well, I shall grant you these final words. I'll hold my
Ah,
action to attack him if he attempts to do anything. Tell us
well,
about this project then."
where do I begin? He says. Do we drop initiative?
He goes back to the start of time to give himself more time to live.
Everyone keen to drop initiative, or are we only going to give him like half a dozen words?
I figure if this project of his is something that needs to be stopped, then I'll let him run his mouth for a little bit, get some info, and then kill him.
Everyone cool with that?
Yeah, no plans to
Okay.
immediately attack.
Just
Keep my
gonna.
action held to attack him though if he tries anything.
We'll have to re-roll initiative though, because he'll have held actions, and so will everyone else. So that just
Fair
becomes
enough.
a fresh initiative roll.
I was
Well,
just gonna say I was just gonna move within that lovely 10 foot of the paladin.
good idea. Good idea. Yeah, you're freely able to move around as well. Where to begin? He thinks for a moment. Well, I am a research scientist. My name is Dr. Ocular, and I am responsible for the inception of the Genesis Project. You see, the Genesis Project is an attempt at xenobiology. We attempt to force the evolution of species in a much more rapid fashion than nature would normally dictate through the application of particular scenarios and tests within a controlled environment that we call the Genesis pits, although you would know it as the land beneath Dagger Hills, Zoo Natal in my own language. I am something of a pariah among my kind, for I exhibit little of the xenophobia and hatred and violence that is typified by my species, known to you as the Beholder. Indeed, my only obsession is within learning. I believe that the universe benefits when an individual grows in experience and intellectual capacity, and and my interest lies in the advancement of the multiverse on a cellular level, on an organic level, on a on a planetary level, and indeed the entire multiverse, in my opinion, benefits whenever even a single creature gains some intellectual advancement or physiological advancement. And thus, the Genesis Project is an attempt to force this evolution, to force this learning. We take the greatest examples of whichever species we might be able to find. For example, I understand that your species, the Kenku, have exhibited a loss of flight due to an ancient biological curse. Well, we would attempt to alleviate that curse through the application of a number of tests, a number of experiments experiments in the hope that perhaps we could redevelop the capacity for flight within the Kenku species, and if instead we should discover other powers, the manifestation of latent psychic energy, or the ability to grow extra limbs to compensate for the loss of this mobility, then we would consider this a success, if not indeed the goal we had been setting out to achieve, but a serendipitous success all the same. And so you can see that I consider that each of you to be prime specimens within the genetic makeup of your own species. I would hope that through the application of experiments and technologies, you would hone your abilities to the point where we could use your genetic information to reproduce you, to create a superior version of the human, of the Asimar, of the half-elf, of the Kenku. Your particular species would benefit through the evolution, and your children, or clones, or duplicates, depending on the nature of the reproduction method, would drive not only your species forward, but your whole world would benefit due to this influx of specialist genetic information, and indeed the entire multiverse, in my opinion, would get to be gradually a more developed, intellectual, and wonderful place through the forced evolution of yourself and any individuals, while those who are unable to survive the rigors of the Genesis pits and the Genesis project would be eliminated from the gene pool, a process which some have called Darwinism.
I suppose. Is this telepathy speaking, or is he actually speaking?
No, he uses his mouth.
That's
Yeah, that's
unfortunate,
right. Yeah.
Because I've got some complex ideas. I guess I'll ask Eleanor to ask these questions then.
Sure, I'll ask them on your behalf if you ask me to.
Because I suppose we'll start with, why should we trust you? Like, because you genetically modify creatures, but your form itself is quite, I suppose, weak. It cannot physically
Indeed.
manipulate the world around itself.
Indeed, and I am considered a runt even among my own species. My species, the Beholder, are notoriously selfish and xenophobic and narcissistic. Indeed, I have never known a single Beholder to view itself as anything other the prime example of a Beholder, and I suffer from this malady as well. I truly believe myself to be the greatest Beholder that has ever existed, for I alone have concocted the Genesis pits, while my fellows seem to think that their capacity to aid the universe is based merely on their ability to disintegrate all life within. Thus, to answer your query directly, why should you trust me, given my nature? I should be trusted, for I have been nothing but honest with you, even when at the risk of my own life.
I suppose.
I care nothing for my own life, at least in comparison towards the importance of the Genesis project.
Then I guess, if what we've seen before, examples of the Genesis project, how can you say it is anything but a failure? The creatures are weaker than they were when they were alive. Even your Beholder brethren are much weaker than one would expect.
That is not the case. We have the Genesis project is an ongoing experiment, and it is far from being concluded. Indeed, we have barely begun the project. It would be very premature to try to provide any insight on the experiment's success or failures when the experiment is ongoing. That is simply not how scientific progress is measured.
But it also seems that the most important thing is lost in every subject. Like the ability to what is it? I'm trying to think of the word for it. Yeah, each subject has lost his ability to act as a moral agent. Therefore, for the greater good would become meaningless, would it not, without free will?
Oh, that is not the case. Are you referring to the ogre zombies? No, that they are not part of the Genesis project. They are merely tools within it, no more useful than a Bunsen burner or a notepad or a table. They serve the capacity for heavy lifting. After all, there are sometimes things need to be moved, rocks, trees, uh, corpses, and with their raw strength has proved to be very useful. And of course, the undead are extremely compliant. At least the non-sentient undead are extremely compliant, and thus make for excellent automatons. No. I believe that you are misunderstanding the goals of the Genesis project. It is about harnessing experience, building on training, and attempting to create biological life forms that are advanced intellectually, physiologically, psychologically. Ultimately, we seek to increase the strength of the gene pool, thus preparing your entire species for the rigors of the future. We do not seek to kill. Well, the Genesis Project does indeed kill, but that is the point, is it not, of natural selection?
But I
In
see the
what
flaw
way
with
is
your
this
biases.
natural?
Oh, sorry. I
In
assume
what way
In
is
what
it?
way is this natural selection?
Well, let me explain. Let us imagine that we have three creatures that are similar in nature, but somehow different. A leopard, a tiger, and a lion. These are all concepts that I am hoping you are familiar with. Well, one might say, well, it is clear that the tiger is the superior of the three, for it is physically larger. Uh, and there would be some merit in that diagnosis. But the lion has the benefit of being a social animal. It hunts in prides. It is not an individual and independent, only coming together to mate. And so one might say, well, clearly the lion is the most developed and advanced of these species. But the panther has a degree of agility that neither tiger nor lion can match. What they lack in physical size, they make up for in cunning and for their ability to use their environment, such as climbing trees, in order to better pounce upon their prey. The Genesis project is the attempt not to eradicate the lion or the tiger or the panther, but rather to improve the potential of each of the species, adapting it to a variety of environments that it may not normally be subjected to, and to force the advancement of the species through a process that nature undertakes constantly, though at a much slower pace than the Genesis project could possibly allow.
But there is a flaw in the logic. What? Like, it is arbitrary to say which is better than what the other, because each of them, act in the role that they are meant to specialize in.
Well, be that as it may, the Genesis Project aims to discover creatures that can be both specialist and generalist. In the previously mentioned feline example, perhaps one of these creatures develops wings, increasing its capacity in all environments except those of aquatic creatures.
I suppose a bias, because you said yourself that you believe yourself to be the pinnacle of all life. So when these creatures are settled, would you not simply make them all mimic yourself?
Oh, I am not the pinnacle of all life. I am merely the greatest beholder that I have ever encountered.
But if you create something non-beholder, you'd be placing it above yourself, would you not?
Oh, no. No. I believe that you are misunderstanding the depths of my narcissism. You see, while the most beholders may think exactly as you do, that they are not only the supreme life form within their own species, but also on a broader level, I hold no such beliefs. I simply see myself as the greatest beholder. I understand that there is a place for dragons and worms and leeches and microscopic algae as well. There is a place for everything within this multiverse. I merely seek to improve.
I think the universe is doing just fine without your intervention.
Yes, that may be so, but that is not any reason not to make it better. For example, you may find a rose bush growing in the wild, and the rose bush is perfectly capable of doing all things a rose bush should be able to do, blooming and extracting water through its roots and taking sunlight in order to feed itself. But what if you took that rose bush and put it in a controlled environment where you could regulate the sunlight and the water and the nutrients? You would grow more roses of a better quality. Perhaps you could change their colors. Perhaps you could expand to create an entire field of rose bushes. This is the concept of agriculture, of course. Agriculture is nothing more than a form of natural selection.
You're playing at being a god with your unnatural experiments.
Well, I do not see it as being a god, but rather as simulating the processes of nature itself. But if you wish to view me as a god, then I will not displace your primitive analogies.
I said playing at.
So you do not view me as a god, but merely as one who wishes to become one. Yet I assure you that there is no theological aspect to all of this. I cannot help but feel some egotistical pride in my work, but I suspect that you feel the same when you succeed in your own roles and tasks. Did you not feel exhilaration when you dispatched my assistants with violence?
I might feel some small exhilaration when we leave you dead in this dank tomb.
I suspect that you will. I suspect that you will feel a certain sense of accomplishment at having prevented my further intervention in the Genesis Project. And yet the Genesis Project shall go on. The pits will not collapse in my absence.
Perhaps they may. You shared with us their location.
Oh, have I? Yes, beneath the Dagger Hills, that is to be sure. But the Underdark is a very complicated realm. And you would likely spend months, if not years, searching for it. And should you find it, you may be unaware that you are there in the first place. Surely it would make more sense if your goal is to destroy the Genesis Pits, to somehow harness my abilities rather than simply eradicating them. And yet I feel my own ego impinging now upon my desires. Truly, my main objective is to keep the Genesis project going. So I suspect that I should offer myself up as a sacrifice, willing to die on your blade, so to speak, metaphorically and literally, in order to preserve the experiment, even at the cost of my own life. I am confident that you are familiar with the concept of dying for what you believe in.
Indeed. Even if I find your beliefs flawed, can respect that at least.
Cannot help but admit that I will be melancholy at the loss of my own life. The survival instinct is strong, and yet it is objectively better for me to die if that should mean that the Genesis project has a greater chance of surviving. Uh, but if I may present to you a further conundrum. You understand now that the Genesis project is involved in the development of superior species through genetic manipulation and experimentation. Do you not think it would be advantageous in your own defense of your underpowered homeland up against a superior enemy in the form of the Zentarum if you were to have access to, say, fire-breathing Tyrannosauruses?
Perhaps,
Maybe.
Perhaps.
but we would not resort to such measures.
Oh,
And all that glitters is not gold. You seem to take away something inherent and special that has allowed the sentient creatures to flourish as they have.
that may be so, but by my own calculations, it comes mostly down to luck. My own belief is that most species survive and flourish through a combination of their own capacity, though a more important factor are the circumstances that are beyond their control. For example, the eruption of a supervolcano may wipe out all life in a particular area, regardless of the fitness of its capabilities. You are that volcano.
But at the same time, it is our creative use of such circumstances that would have allowed us to get here as well. Neighbouring features to this super volcano eruption would doubtless notice the new fertile land from the nutrients of the blast.
I find little to fault in your analogy, and I understand completely why you would think that letting nature take its course is the superior avenue. Though I hold great pride in my own work, I do not hold it to be flawless, and I consider all opinions valid, even those which stand in direct contradiction to my own.
Hmm.
I fully expected him to go, well, on second, to be like, well, have you thought about this? And then it's death ray.
Well, we've heard your side. You have yet to sway us. Your final words have been spoken. Are you ready?
Yes, I am. Forgive me if I defend myself, for I cannot suppress my survival instinct, even to preserve honor.
So be it. Initiative time, I think.
Indeed.
One.
Nice.
Boo.
He sighs. There are
Been
some
ready to bring the
people who
axe down.
there are some people who just don't believe that climate change is real. The poor scientist, he's done everything to appeal to the masses, but no. But
Hey, I feel I answered in scientific terms.
well, that's right. You quoted Joe Rogan, and he's going, well, all right. Joe Rogan makes a point. Sorry.
I
Joe
only have,
Rogan rolls Arcana with strength instead of intelligence.
Indeed.
I only have 8 intelligence, so it's pretty cut and dry.
Indeed.
This is bad. There's no gray area.
Behold a scientist taking captives and forcing them to run the gauntlet and then eventually breed. Yeah, that sounds kind of Nazi to me.
Just a little bit.
Behold a scientist destroying Lady Eleanor facts and logic.
Right?
Yeah.
Lady Eleanor.
But I suppose Lady Eleanor destroying Behold scientists with the divine magic and halberd is a bit more effective.
Quite possibly. Alright, let's go for second level smite on the first attack. Tick that box. Nice, natural 1. And the second attack, that's better. For 20, no, more than that.
A grievous injury.
For 34. And then pole strike with a first level smite behind it.
$25.
For 26, I think.
You commented earlier on my supposed belief that I am the supreme being of the universe, based on the logic that as the greatest beholder, I am the pinnacle of life for the beholders of the greatest species, but you could not be more wrong. This trial has proven to me a supposition that I have long held, that the greatest organic species in the multiverse is the humanoid. Leo. After all, you have colonized all worlds known to science.
Disintegrate.
Take it he's facing us, right? Or is he
He
facing away?
is. His main eye is facing is closed. Yeah. So
Closed?
yeah. So he has no any magic.
Okay, no mind, I wouldn't go that close then. What did I say? He's looking at us, it's time for the wizard to go caveman. But I suppose a firebolt.
How ironic.
I was expecting something a little more punchy.
I've literally lost all my spells. I'm down to just level 1 spells now.
I'm doing my best. Okay.
Yeah, why don't I crown of madness you, Eleanor?
Just kills Flightless with like Death Ray before he goes.
On Crown of Madness me, I'm immune to charm effects.
This is entirely arbitrary. As he focuses all his attacks on Lady Eleanor. Do not
Makes sense.
consider it personal. Let's see. Yeah, look, we'll just go with death.
Okay.
You were selected in a double blind survey.
Indeed.
I'll attempt to make that deck save. And do.
Disintegration.
Attempt to make that deck save. And do.
May you be preserved for all time.
And it's also a deck save. And do.
Truly, you are the pinnacle of creation. What wonderful children we could have had.
He wants to put his genetic material in you.
Yikes. There's the tentacle monster. Is that like
Right.
Does a 16 hit?
It will.
Actually, no. I need to thing of insightful fighting to get my sneak attack.
Oh, yeah. I have breathed my last. And his monocle falls to the ground and shatters.
F's in the chat for Dr. Ocular.
F's in the chat.
Well, with that, I should hope that the threat to Tethiamar is dealt with. What do you make of this equipment around us? It is clearly related to his project. Can't make any sense of it.
First, can I search the area for notes?
Well beyond my understanding.
Yeah, you can search the area for notes, although it's probably not going to tell you anything that he hasn't already told you. You can ask more poignant questions if you have something particular and you don't want to be burdened by his ponderous answers.
I suppose because is there like a list of like strengths and weaknesses that his race would have?
Oh no, because he's not here to analyze himself. He's rather collecting information on what he has found here in this particular dungeon.
Okay, because I was looking to see like how would he improve like creatures?
How would he approve what?
How he would improve creatures that he found?
Oh right. So yeah, the process is like this. The Genesis Pit is a place. It doesn't say how big it is, but it's big. The Genesis project, or the Genesis Pits rather, feature many different environments within the one spot. So there's a little bit of desert, a little bit of forest, a little bit of Arctic, and so on. And they just chuck all the creatures, monsters, animals, whatever, people, all into it at once, and it's fucking Lord of the Flies, basically, right? Like, the strongest survives, and that's the whole idea. So he doesn't actually intervene, save to maybe genetically manipulate certain outcomes. Like he talked about a fire-breathing Tyrannosaurus. If he's able to find a way to give a Tyrannosaurus the ability to breathe fire like a dragon, will that make it equal to a dragon of a similar size? This is a query, a typical question that would be answered. And those MTV deathmatch things where you just chuck two completely different creatures up against each other, the Loch Ness Monster versus Bigfoot. Yeah, it's like that.
It just seems like he's recreating. He's not even, I guess, poorly recreating nature, but just doing science for science's sake with no clear outcome.
Yeah, well, the outcome he was pretty clear about is that he believes that forceful evolution drives forward the entire universe. The concept that when one person becomes better educated, the whole universe becomes better educated.
So, like, all T-Rexes become more powerful and one can breathe fire like a dragon?
Well, not all T-Rexes, but the universe becomes a little bit more powerful because there's now a fire-breathing Tyrannosaurus. And if the Tyrannosaurus passes on its genes, then yes, the species becomes stronger, or there's a new species, and that species is stronger. Here's a query for you. Will owlbears wipe out all owls and all bears? Is there still a place in this world for bears when we have owlbears? Are owlbears just inherently superior? That's a question that perhaps the Genesis Project could answer.
But I guess a more pragmatic answer would be, like, why do we need an answer to what's superior between owlbears and bears? Both fulfill their role.
Well, that's what the genetics. I guess the Genesis Project sets out to question. Is there still a place for them? And you've made a presumptuous answer. The Doctor would not be so presumptuous.
Well, I can't even begin to understand any of this equipment.
I
But if
suppose
it's related.
some solace would be that under these conditions, the Genesis Project is something that can never actually be fulfilled until you run out of creatures to smash into each other. So I was going to try to identify the objects.
Yeah. Do you have the identify skill or just?
I do have the spell as well.
Yeah.
But we'll just go through all of it and see if is it just like glass beakers and things, or is there more serious stuff here?
Yeah, so it's an alchemical laboratory, a superior alchemical laboratory. It's better than anything in Cormier at all, right? Like even though this is just his field lab is more advanced than the laboratory that Vandergast uses or used to use back in the capital of Cormier. So the equipment here is of the highest scientific futuristic quality. But if you're talking more about specifically the potions, then I guess that's going to require maybe an Arcana check would be enough.
Yeah, I'll throw 3, I think.
Yeah. There were 3, yeah. Yep. And so with experimentation and by reading the notes and the ingredients, you find one of each of these.
Nice.
And this is the scroll from previously.
And so, being just scientific equipment, this is just tools. It's not like beholder, like blood tubes or something. Made.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's. Made. No. There's some. They're using a lot of goblin parts and ogre parts at the moment, but that's just because that's what they have on hand.
I guess all of this can just be cleaned out and used for other purposes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
you'll just tell Ellen also, oh, these are just like tools for the creation of research.
Research, as in the undead we encountered.
Not necessarily. It could be used for anything, like arcane.
Well, I don't see our allies being in a position to utilize this place, and this equipment looks far too cumbersome and heavy to take it anywhere.
Hefts his bag of holding at you.
Ah,
Maybe. Who's the Badine, archmage from Cormier? What's her name again?
I know who you're referring to. I'm not sure who
Van der
she is.
Gehast?
Cladney.
Cladney,
might
yeah.
appreciate this equipment.
Very well then. Fit whatever you can to the bag of holding, and whatever we can't take with us, I insist that we destroy so that it does not fall into the hands of madmen.
He'll nod because I guess as far as he's because a knife can be used for good or evil, and they suggested a beaker, which I guess same logic can apply to it.
Yeah, I'll nod understandingly that she didn't understand the equipment at all, but realizes what you mean by it being similar to a weapon in that it can be used good or evil.
I suppose if the demon had your halberd, it wouldn't be a tool for justice anymore, would it?
No.
I guess starting with the most advanced items, then he'll start working his way down. I'm pretty sure Cormier can make a glass beaker, but maybe that Bunsen burner would be harder to make.
And although we can do no more than use modern analogies, syringes and copper tubes and so on. There's also stuff that is so esoteric that you and I can't really think of it. So there's some
the Phaeton reader. It reads magical energy.
That's right, and antimatter detectors and stuff like that. It's beyond science.
I guess it's beyond our science.
Precisely.
But I guess as before, he'll start with all that weird stuff that Cormier doesn't have, and then work his way down until his bag's full.
Yeah. And the laboratory is huge, so there's no way you'd be able to carry it in a bag. But you can get an alchemy kit out of it, a 50 gold piece alchemy kit, and just leave the rest of this specialized equipment to waste.
It is a bag of holding, isn't it?
Oh, a bag of holding.
Yeah, it is.
Even so, it's so delicate that dismantling it like that. How much space you got in the bag of holding?
I think I've just got gold in it.
But isn't it full of gold though?
I'm looking for my bag of holding.
Because we tend to run at 100% capacity in our bags of holding, I think.
That's probably about because I've got. Oh, no, I've got quite a bit of adamantine and mithril in it as well. It's probably about full.
So yeah, I guess one thing to slosh coins around in a bag of holding, not that it moves or anything, but just putting them in there. Think of it like this: so it's 8 foot by 8 foot by 8 foot, but you don't have 8 foot long arms. So how are you supposed to carefully and delicately pack it in there? When half of these things are made of glass or fragile wiring and so on. Long and the short of it, I'm not trying to make it deliberately difficult.
I understand.
But yeah, imagine going into a modern fucking. Yeah. Imagine going into a modern laboratory and disassembling the whole thing and putting it into bags and packing it up. It's a fucking task.
But I do have an idea because we have an enchantress who messages me frequently.
Oh, yeah?
So we could wait for, because they'll probably be either daily or, every other day would get sending. at least one sending, so we can say we found a lot of stuff, and we can, just organize to get this stuff moved down.
Possibly. It can't stay here, that's for sure.
There's a bunch of
But,
goblins and stuff over on the other side of this dungeon, yeah?
I think so.
Trolls,
Although
right? We got rid of the dungeon. The goblins, there might be some trolls somewhere.
And if we're
they're
good to
after
rest.
ogres. Yeah, they're after a bunch of ogres, and seeing as we've seen quite a few ogre zombies down here, I think it's clear what's happened to them.
As I am quite injured, we might, spend the night here, regain some strength.
Well, this
Wouldn't
room
hurt.
is quite defensible. Although, speaking of this room, a fireball exploded in this room, didn't it?
Seem quite a
So,
bit of the
I
equipment was
imagine-
damaged or broken.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
already blown up the a lot of the equipment already. Yeah.
Also, a shatter went off in this room as well.
And and a shatter.
But I think the shatter went over the beholder, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah,
down at
the
the south end.
But yeah,
fireball was like here, it's centrally located.
so you've definitely because the whole room is one big laboratory. If you've ever been to a university biology lab, then there's equipment everywhere, right? Everywhere. And this place is the same. So our adventures have caused a considerable amount of damage to this literally priceless scientific equipment. But so be it. That's we are the barbarians.
But I think the Wall of Force would have saved a lot of it as well. So
Oh yeah,
there's
good point.
there's going to be
behind
some
it,
good
yeah.
salvage in here.
There is some to salvage. Yeah, there is. Yeah.
I would like to take a long rest anyway. I'm quite damaged.
Okay then. Well, this room is quite defensible. I think
And
if we close the
also-
doors.
I remember I have this spell.
Useful.
So if I put it here, creatures can't really get past it into the room, and we're safe inside it.
True, yeah, I guess they couldn't. Dome of Force. Other creatures and objects barred from passing through it. Spells, magical effects can't extend through it. Yeah, I guess it would block the door, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's a good idea. And then while we take a long rest in here, you can use that time to pick through the destroyed laboratory and find any bits and pieces you want to take with you.
I guess past the Scroll of Arcane Eye to the wizard as well.
Thank you.
Who wants the potions? I already have a potion of, not sure which giant strength, but one of the giants. So somebody else can have that.
Be a great meme for the wizard.
Huh.
Yeah, you'd benefit from it a lot.
Need more strength.
Mine
Nice.
is frost giant strength.
Ooh, that's pretty spicy.
I think I already I have 3 potions of superior healing, so anybody else is free to take that as well.
Says your strength at 21. Wow. That's a lot of strength.
I suppose Leo can have the new potion, like the health one.
Yeah, I'm good on that stuff.
I guess I'll take the potion of shrinking, just because, I don't know, I might be able to find some sort of use for it. Actually, no, it might be better in Flightless's hands, because you're better at stealthing than any of us.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, Sildren should take the potion of Hill Giant Strength. He often gets in there and actually uses his sword. Is more likely to be used on him.
Does he have more strength than what the potion sets it to, though?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it sets it
have
to 21.
a belt of giant strength.
Never mind then.
Ah, nice. My
It would
strength
be
is
the
18.
meme strength wizard.
All right. Let's take our rest. I think we can call this mission accomplished for the most part. We've dismantled killed the leaders and the assistants. And I don't think we missed any zombies. Although if we did, the soldiers of Teliamar should be able to handle a zombie or two.
Actually, we're talking about wizards, and we have like this huge. Yeah, I think the enchantress might actually want this instead.
The laboratory.
Yeah, I mean at least the items within, because she probably has a place within. Probably has like a base within Tediamar where she can actually store this stuff.
Maybe. Teliamar's not far. We could ferry it back and forth. But a lot of it was destroyed.
And I suppose when we get the report from her, fly a little informer that we found a lot of equipment that she might want.
Excellent. And yeah, we'll be able to salvage, it just reminded me of Terminator 2, you know how they only find a few elements of the future Terminator, but they reverse engineer it to, that's basically what we've got here is 23rd century technology that you give to a couple of fucking middle-aged peasants, and they'll attempt
give it
to...
give it to Artisan. It'll probably,
So-
Yeah.
Hopefully a more positive version of the roadside picnic.
yeah.
And that's how Artisan created Skynet.
I'll sort of I'll drag all the corpses outside and sort of start trying to sweep broken glass and bits of debris out of one of the corners so we have somewhere to actually lie down and rest.
Yeah. Very good.
Like this is occasion saying, "Don't touch that puddle."
You also fired 3 vials of acid. So they are pretty mundane compared to everything else we've found.
Acid is acid.
Do we get our long rest in without being molested?
You do indeed, which is almost a little bit sad. Yeah, it's like I've used him in the past, but not for a long time. He's one of my favorite NPCs I've ever made.
Yeah, he's fun.
Yeah.
Talk about your justified villains.
Yeah, I had to let him I had to let him have his spiel before I cut him down.
Indeed. The
Sure.
Genesis
Packed
bits.
up everything. I'm ready to go.
I know someone who plays D&D a lot who would have completely just oh yeah, you make up 100% logical and was I side with the beholder.
I reckon Artisan might have been one of those.
And it's funny because the name he goes by on the internet is Genesis.
Ah,
He would fully agree with the Genesis project.
hilarious.
He's a very funny dude.
But you'd probably get upset, like, why did the beholder steal my brain in the night? I was complying.
Unfortunately for the beholder, it was never going to work because we've got some low intelligence religious fanatics in the party.
Never going to work because we are the Inquisition. Fuck you, Galileo.
What a show.
Keep throwing rocks at it. It's moving.
Well, I think this concludes our business down here. Shall we return to Teliamar and figure out our next move?
I mean, we've killed the doctor. Anything else down here is like not really to the scale of the doctor.
No. Although I suppose
But
we
if
can
we are
take
having
another
people
look around.
cart stuff back and forth, we might want to make it safe.
Very well. We'll do another patrol of the tunnels.
Yeah, if you're sending civilians down here, we should probably go and because there was the whole other side of it, I guess. Well, I don't know how far it goes, but
It was the
where
whole
all
up and then the whole right.
yeah, where those other goblins or hobgoblins or bugbears or whatever they were came from.
Plus, was there anything the other way? Like down this way?
I remember which way.
Oh, it's an empty
something.
room.
Something
Ah, yeah, here's all the like.
curious. I don't know if those are pillars or
Yeah,
pressure plates or.
I'm catching up with the party. They're statues. So let's see what we've got here before you go any further. This is a museum. First of all, the area that we first go into. Um, as we well know, there are countless bas reliefs all around here, carvings and images. Most of them are fallen down, 90% of them are gone, but there's still enough of them that you can get a bit of a picture of the visual story the artists were trying to tell. It begins here in this room that we're all in with a story of the migration of the dwarves. You see depictions of the dwarves being led by a ruler who has no beard, and this ruler apparently leads them there to their doom. A disgraceful act, no doubt. But fortunately, there is a visionary, and that visionary leads his people into the Underdark where they will be safe and thrive. The next room that you're looking into, I'll just check that I'm getting this right. Yep, the next room that you're looking into has 4 statues that depict figures of dwarven history, all male, of course. 3 of them are kings, and 1 of them is a pharaoh. King Axengard, King Mogus, and King Varakor of Tethiamar, depicted as heroic warriors, and Pharaoh Forak I is depicted in thought. Rather than taking violent action, he is contemplative.
King Amogus.
That's I was thinking King Amogus. So where Mo gets his name from. Is he related to this one?
Yeah, that's right. He must have been. His mother must have taken it from as a tribute, King Mogus.
It looks like this one's been broken.
Yeah, that's right. It has been over the years, but because they're made of marble, people have chipped away at it and taken chunks out of it, and maybe they intended it, maybe they didn't, but it's definitely suffered some damage.
Grog was here.
Yeah. You're looking down Sildarin into a room that was formerly a set of living quarters. The walls here don't have grand depictions of warriors and kings and princes and pharaohs, but rather of regular life. However, virtually the entirety of this room has been destroyed, and the word heretics has been carved into the walls.
Is this where they like ate each other's flesh? Was that just Telema?
One can only speculate. Yeah.
In common or
In Dwarven.
appears to be a very large map.
It's pretty fucking big,
There's just loads of turns everywhere.
There is. It's It's the right level of complexity. It's a labyrinth, but not not an unfathomable one.
Yeah. I think this one goes and comes back up to like me and Flightless looking at now.
Quite possible.
Never mind. It goes that way. Doesn't at all. Just even more to explore.
You can, or Flightless at least, can hear the sounds of herd animals grazing up ahead, and the smell of methane and cow shit, natural waste.
I guess pointing ahead and just mimicking the sound of a cow eating or something.
The smell.
We'll eat
I think
later,
we've
bird.
encountered. I think we've encountered deep growth before, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. They were scaring our soldiers with the dancing lights.
Oh yeah.
Is that coming from the doors to the east or from further to the south?
Further to the south, yeah. There doesn't sound like there's anything blocking it. Like it's not muffled because of any stone walls, but it is relatively distant, 100 feet, 200 feet.
I suppose, can I try to
We'll
listen?
listen at the door, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. You listen to the door, and it is completely inaudible in there.
And not quite
Open
silent.
it, I guess.
You find a room that has been so thoroughly annihilated that you can only guess at what's happened here. Looks like some catastrophe occurred. There is nothing that is still intact, just bits of rubble and charred bone. Whatever was in here copped annihilation. It's one step away from disintegration.
Can't imagine what this room was used for, or
No.
how it
No.
was destroyed.
Are there any markings on the door?
No. No. There's no indication what this once might have been, and as Eleanor correctly points out, there's little evidence, it's of what might have created this apocalyptic scene.
It's just rock rubble in there.
Yeah, and bone, also bone, but fragments of that bone.
Nothing that concerns us now, I suppose.
We'll close the door.
All right. The smell and sound of the animals is to our left, or your character's right, towards the west.
Get this door.
Perception check.
Yeah. This one is equally as silent.
The 21's going to be my number now, isn't it?
21.
Push it open, I guess. Pull it open, whatever, however it goes.
You find a room that is surprisingly intact, whereas the other one showed signs of complete annihilation. This shows anything but. It's a remarkably well-preserved room that is nonetheless messy. These are stone beds, I guess, and everything has been stripped away from here. The chests have been emptied, the beds have been stripped, but aside from the fact that there's apparently nothing of value, the room is remarkably intact, and you're given a glimpse of perhaps what daily life was like for the dwarves. This is probably a residential area.
And I'm just instantly paranoid for traps. We step in and it's just a storm of vengeance ruin goes off.
Yeah. You go ahead and make a check if you want.
So I thought an investigation.
Yeah.
That's 30.
Although it looks like this place has been plundered several times in the past, people have come through here recently. There are boot prints of like about a size 7 or a size 8, smaller than the average human, more narrow than a dwarf, but longer than a dwarf. Adolescent-sized footprints come through here, as well as the footprints of some great arthropod, like a massive insect or something like that, a giant insect. But you're not able to immediately identify them, at least not without a survival or a nature check or something like that.
Because I thought a nature check. It's not his area of expertise, but he might have read something about it.
Yeah, or encountered the creatures before. But
No,
they don't. Yeah. Anyway, some giant insect has come through here, as have some humanoids, and they've both been here as recently as yesterday, or maybe as long ago as a month ago. It's recent. Talking days, not centuries.
Yes, he'll be speaking their minds as he's figuring these things out.
Yeah.
But also, like, stone bed, that's the ultimate form of hide something under your bed, isn't it?
Right.
Well, willing to.
Could I try a nature
curiosity.
check? Just out of curiosity. See what they were. If, like, the point of the footprints said, I mean.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a check. Giant scorpions and elves.
I was thinking goblins, but there's elves in here. That's interesting.
Giant scorpions. That's a curious mixture.
You can tell these are elves because even their footprints are cooler than humans.
High archers.
You can feel the self-righteousness just coming straight off these footprints.
Somehow it's on the floor and somehow it's looking down at me.
Yeah.
I'm looking down on you too.
Wow.
Being elvish and all.
Even just half elf, it's just that's enough.
Yeah. Just half as good as them. Which I suppose is still better than a human.
Looks like that tunnel up ahead is natural stone.
That's something maybe burrowed in here.
Quite possibly.
But what are
Does
the
it
things that are
sound-
burrowed that got us before that burrowed? That got us in Tediamar? They looked at us and stunned us, I think.
I know what you're talking about. I'm trying to remember what they're called. Umberhulks.
Yeah.
It could be. It could very well be one of those creatures.
Can I examine? Does it have a similar burrowing pattern, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
I guess that's nature again.
I think probably nature, yeah.
Not too great.
It looks the same, but I guess one tunnel through granite looks much like another. It's about 8 feet wide and vaguely circular, or cylindrical, if you prefer. So it is consistent with Umberholt tunnels.
I guess I'll ask
We don't
Leo
hear
to have a
anything
look
from
at
the
it as well.
passage.
Sildarin with a 15. You hear, you hear the chirring of some giant insect, but it's quite soft, like a purr. And it's coming from the direction towards the south.
That was a pretty cool sound effect.
There's something down there. Let's go listen at the door as well.
Excellent. The door is silent.
I am expecting another room full of beds.
Guess we'll find out.
It is a room full of beds, and these beds have been used recently. You'll find a few strands of silver white hair in amongst the footprints.
Hmm. That's odd. Goblins aren't known for their fine hair like this.
Wait,
I just think it's
the-
a goblin with flowing silver locks.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the elves, right?
Of the dark variety, it seems like.
Dark elves. The dirty kind of elves. Pauses for a moment, trying to remember what Cormian's opinion of elves are, if they're all dirty or just...
I think we like normal elves, but we don't like dark elves so much.
He gets out like the color swatch for elves.
Yeah.
But then again, no one likes dark elves, not even other dark elves.
Good point.
Well, there's something down this tunnel to the south. Do we want to take a closer look?
Hmm.
I could try
Perhaps we
move up
might.
unnoticed.
Flightless, you want to go try and take a closer look?
Well, we're here to clear out threats to Teliamar, so it is a threat. Should get rid of it.
Well, its footprints came with the elves, so it might be good to have a look first. Let's try to stealth down the corridor. Is that
Alright, go ahead.
I think that represents the lowest I can roll.
Huh.
Natural 2, yeah.
Oh, I could have gone one lower. Oh, no, I couldn't. Never mind. No, reliable talent.
Reliable talent.
Just get to take 10 on everything.
Roll for initiative.
Sad bird sounds.
You have
And the
120 foot dark
wolves.
vision. Yeah,
Yes, I do.
flightless can. You can.
Oh,
so
I
you
can
can
see.
see it. Yeah.
No, he wants to be gone. He don't like it here anymore.
No longer happy.
Yeah, the one
Fight some
enemy he doesn't want.
driders.
Yeah, the one enemy he doesn't want to see.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh, backstory trauma stuff.
Yeah.
Makes sense for the Nat 1 as well.
What does he see? What do you see with your little eye?
Ah,
I suppose you just hear like they found me.
uh-oh.
Oh,
And I suppose I walk
What?
straight into spider webs that alert them to my presence.
Basically. Um. Shit. All right. There's two different stat blocks, and they're slightly different. Roll 20 can't get it right every time, I guess. Uh, damn it. Get through the process of importing things. It's gonna take that long, but it'll take a bit of time. And Question marks? One, two, three. Okay, and he fires first. Because you can see him, you're not taken by surprise, so it doesn't get advantage. He fires.
Yeah, the shield is good. A good thing I didn't have advantage. That would have hit.
Excellent.
Because the bolt
And
plunged
he
into a
then
shield.
skitters away. Leah. I guess yeah. So Leo, you're coming down this corridor, or Flightless is taking the lead, and bam, a crossbow shaft, a good 8 inches long, jams into the stone. If Flightless hadn't been so quick, it would have copped him.
Time to kill some long-eared people.
Haha. Ironic.
So I've movement to get to there. I will cast. Yeah, Myth that.
That's
You
the
cast
one.
it the first time, right? And then it doesn't kick into the next time?
My elf's minute meteors.
Yes. It's my elves. Elves.
When you cast a spell and as a bonus action, you can expend. So if you don't want to throw them, you don't have to. They concentration lasts 10 minutes, but you do have the option of firing them immediately if you wanted to.
Okay, never mind then. I'll cast the spell, but I won't throw any.
The worries. Sildarin.
I guess we need to move down. Can't see anything. Maybe I'll cast Spirit Guardians.
Sure.
Slow anything coming up the tunnel.
Very good, very good. You are protected, Lady Eleanor.
15, 25, 30. I can't see anything either. I will dodge and hold my position here.
Alrighty.
Physically
Flightless.
block the tunnel.
Indeed.
Flightless will move back. Actually, he'll stay in Paladin goodness, but he will take the dodge action, bonus action hide.
Alright.
Okay, that's him.
Alright. Make an adjustment or two. Alright. And just a little bit longer. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Alright. Leo.
To see what I can see with my magical eyes.
Indeed.
Absolutely nothing.
Ridiculous.
I feel like they've got like a really good ambush set up. Take the dash action. To get to there. That'll be me.
Alright. Sildaren.
Yeah, I guess I'll dash as well. So I'll run to there and then hold my ground.
Very good. Clang, 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 clang. You echo and reverberate throughout the caves as you charge ahead. Lady Eleanor.
I'll move up 30 feet and notice the distinct lack of anything happening. What happened? Where did they go?
Probably to set up an ambush. Or
Haven't
to just
seen anything.
their left.
Move up 10, 15 more, 20. Then yeah, I'll stay here for paladin stuff. So dash to get there. That's my turn.
Alright. Okay. Flightless.
He doesn't want to go forward, but he doesn't want to be left alone, so I guess he'll stay with the party. So move, bonus action, dash, and then he'll dodge again.
Alright. Okay. Leo. Oh, wait. Sorry, before you go, Leo. Although that's fine. Flightless, you will see an invisible creature, like a little humanoid with bat wings and horns, that comes out and studies the party.
I suppose telepathically, or that the party is like, well, being spied on. I suppose that I can point at it, but it will know where. It'll know that I know.
Alright, Leo, you may resume your regular schedule programming.
Okay. So I'll telepathically say I can see them.
And you
Go
come
up
under
to them.
fire when you do see them.
Okay.
I'll see if they can both see you or not.
See the bottom of this guy, so he probably might be able to see me.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
The humans coming forward, this will be easy. He's like, I saw you wait long before you saw me.
Trying to highlight it. Roll20's lagging or something. Oh, the turn order's in the way, that's what it is.
To be honest, I'd keep moving, so if it's just one more square forward, so definitely sees me, I don't mind.
Yeah, thanks for specifying that. Yeah, so they both open fire. .24, I guess, will hit.
Yes, but I will use my reaction.
That brings it higher than 24.
I'm just trying to work out whether it's worth using the. Yeah, I don't need to cast any spells. I'll be using something that gives me +2 AC, but I can't find it in my character sheet.
Sure.
Yeah, it's one of you. It's the War Mage thing.
It's not just
Durable
melee
magic
or
against
anything.
Here it is.
Cool. You hit with an attack. You can get +2 to your AC. Yeah. You can't cast any other spells except cantrips until the end of your next turn. Right.
So War Mage is just really good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Quite useful.
yeah, it's one of the better designed archetypes.
Cool. And then I will, retaliation, throw 2 of the meteors here.
Yep, and you can do that because you can't cast a spell, but you've already got these spells ready, so you can do that.
Just put a 4 there, so no, I only have 4 left.
Alright. Okay, so create 6 meteors. You can expend 1 or 2 of the meteors. You're going to send 2 of them, right?
2 in between these 2 people.
Once a meteor reaches its destination, it explodes. Any creature within 5 feet, so that's going to hit both of them and both scorpions.
That's some value for 5-foot radius.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really
Oof.
getting
Right, so that's the first one, and there's the second one.
That is an oof. Well, 11 damage across 4 creatures is still pretty good.
I think one of those passes. 25.
Alright. Okay.
And then I will throw a firebolt at this top one. Got the action economy, just not the luck.
That won't be enough. Alright. So yeah, we spring their ambush that Leo predicted all along. You retaliate them, but you don't dislodge them from their position.
Just going to say that down this corridor, and there is a stone giant. That is epic.
Haha. The stone giant is in chains. His hands are chained together. But he still has some kind of big weapon, marble pillar or something. So since you can see him, wasn't counting on you being able to see him, but since you can, he will enter the initiative. And it's the stone giant's go. He will. You remember where you are, Leo?
Yep.
He gets about as far as he can, since the tunnels are not made for giants. And he attempts to hurl a rock at you, hoping that he doesn't get a critical fumble. That'd be really comical if he does. I'm gonna have to import the character, because of course I do. Wait a minute. There we go. And a rock. But it smashes beyond the brow, getting impact here and raining the area down with gravel. Okay, that was the Stone Giant's go. Sildarin.
Attacks seem to be coming from the west.
Yeah, that's right.
I guess I'll dash down here, put them all in the aura,
Oh, yeah?
then I guess a bonus action, spiritual weapon on one of the drow. This drow, the northern drow.
Alright.
Actually, how far away am I from that giant?
You also run into the range of the scorpions, who retaliate with their stingers.
Close. Okay, I'll throw the spiritual weapon at the giant.
Bam. It's easily going to hit.
15.
Alright, yep, so 15 damage is a bruise. And the giant, whose hands remain chained, endures it and prepares to find another rock to retaliate with.
That's me.
Lady Eleanor.
I'll say to Leo, do you see any more down that corridor? Or the other? Motioning to the north and the southeast.
The corridor below me ends at a dead end, and the one above goes to a fork off, but there might be more of them, but I can't see. Because it goes two directions.
Move.
Wait, Eleanor, did Eleanor just go, Leo, what do your human eyes see?
Basically. Basically, yeah. So 30 feet gets me here. What to do? Seeing that giant, I noticed his hands are bound. Does it seem like he's fighting against his will?
It'd take you'd have to make a roll to do like an insight check if you want, but it is unconventional to have one's hands chained together.
Will it take my action to make a check like that?
Afraid it will.
I'm gonna go for it. Here's my action
Yeah,
taken
sure.
inside check. 16.
Yeah, the drow of Sizith Aranea in particular are known to keep stone giants. They use them in their quarries. So stone giants are a pretty good slave race because they're industrious, obviously very strong, and generally rather compliant. They're not stupid like hill giants, and they're not egotistical like frost or fire giants. It's in many ways they are the ultimate slave.
And I'll just mention to Sildarin that it seems like the stone giant is fighting against his will. If we're able to clear out the rest of them, perhaps he will stop. And that's my action, and that's my turn.
Lightless, you can see a little impish entity right beside the head of Leo. I'll put the creature on the map for you.
He's going to tell himself he's doing this for the party, but that he doesn't want to go fight Drought. He's going to kill this thing first. Yeah, so I guess insightful fighting, because I guess my ally has has to be able to see the creature for my rogue stuff to work.
Oh, yeah? Alright. Yep, he's not going to beat that.
Actually, before I just need to make sure some. Yeah, I'm going to move closer so I don't have disadvantage on the attack. Okay, there we go. That should be good now. Does a 20 hit?
Easily.
That's a nice 30 damage.
Well and truly destroying it. Oh, banishing it back to the abyss, actually. It sends it back to its home plane.
Someone from the other room shouts, "You owe me 10 gold."
And Leo's just like completely unaware as a flincher can like flies past his ear, stops in midair, and there's a little shower of blood and then a puff as something teleports back to the abyss.
That's his turn.
Alright. And we will leave it there for the week.
Fun session, as always.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Good fight. It's been a good one.
I've got to get ready for the next session, so I shall leave you immediately.